views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at talkrealsolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of talkrealsolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not talkrealsolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
All right. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions, and I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today is September the 25th, 2025. If you want to join the show and engage in some conversation, all you have to do is look us up on YouTube. That's where the live feed will be. And you can call into the number at 1717-908-1834, and I'll open the mic and allow you to say whatever it is you want to say. Other than that, welcome to the show. I I don't know what to say. This country is going crazy. There's so much going on. There's so many things to be discussed, and to be honest with you, I zeroed in on none of them because the news is coming so hot and heavy and fast. It's so chaotic. It's just a waste of time to try to zoom in on this stuff and waste my brain cells and my energy on this stuff. But I did catch clips and headlines and all this kind of stuff with the let me see if my audio is working, with all these kind of things. What's up, East Coast? And I don't know. America wanted this, America got it. Like I titled the show, America is now a fucking global circus. It's a world circus. We live in a fucking clown show of a piece of ass democracy and a wannabe dictatorship. We just live in a country that is back ass with nowadays. The leadership in this country has fallen by the wayside, and we allow the richest people in the world. Just imagine that. We allowed the richest people in the world, gave them the levers of power. With all the money and influence that these people already had, it wasn't enough for them. They want more. They want control. They want I don't know what, I can't speak for people who so ultra rich and wealthy. I don't know. I don't live in that. That's a whole different class of people from somebody like me. But I can tell you my observations from looking at them is just, I don't understand why you could, first of all, most likely steal all that wealth. And then when you got everything you want, everything that society can give you monetarily, and you whine at the game of capitalism, you are on top of the hill. You figured out this capitalistic system, and you hit the lottery. You got it all. Why the hell do you have to bother the working people? Why do you have to turn around and still make other people's lives miserable? I don't understand that mindset. You know, like I said, I've never been rich, and I don't understand how these people can beat the capitalistic game, win, get all the money, and then still want to screw over the average everyday person in society. That's just, this is why I never really agreed with the concept of capitalism. I know we all programmed to embrace it. I know we all have to say positive things about capitalism. That's the way we've been programmed. If you say anything negative about capitalism, you are immediately labeled a socialist or a Marxist or something evil, a communist, right? And because we have been programmed to accept capitalism, people don't realize how dangerous and deadly capitalism is. Because all on the other side of these winners of the capitalism lottery, you have a completely different side to where people are not winning at all in capitalism, no matter how hard they try, no matter how many jobs they work, no matter how many hours they spend on the clock, no matter how much schooling they have, no matter how often they attend church, they could be doing everything right, right? But the other side of capitalism, that individual with the honest work ethics that is putting in the work, no matter how long he worked, no matter how many years he worked, that individual is going to get screwed over by the people that cheated at the game. Now, I said they won the lottery, but that's with a caveat. They didn't, and this is my opinion, and you may have some out there that don't fit what I'm getting ready to say, but I can guarantee you a majority of these winners did not win fairly. They cheated at the game. They used power and influence to achieve their success. And we can just look at the actions of Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, and others that on their way up, we seen how they cheated at the game. For instance, Bill Gates, I kind of faintly remember this story about Microsoft, because that was the big thing of my time. MS-DOS, I don't know if y'all remember that, when you had to type in the prompts into the computer to get the computer to react a certain way, C:\\, and then run and all that kind of bullshit. But Microsoft DOS wasn't even a Bill Gates idea originally. Him and a friend, from my understanding, was working in a garage, and Bill Gates and his friends, they was working, trying to come up with this computer programming thing, and his friend actually got it. It wasn't Bill Gates. His friends actually came up with MS-DOS, right? And because Bill Gates is a capitalist and a robber baron and a savage white uh, Anglo-Saxon person that loves to steal and manipulate people, some point down the line, Bill Gates manipulated his friend into selling him the program or the code or MS-DOS for a very low price. I don't know exactly what it was, and y'all can correct me on this story. And next thing you know, Bill Gates took that programming and MS-DOS and created Microsoft, which went on to become Windows and became at some point in time the richest man in the world for a little while, based off of him stealing from his friend. Now, I know that I probably got the story wrong, but the overall point about capitalism is that these people who are now rich and wealthy are really robber barons. They're thieves. And in order for them to obtain the position in society that they have, they had to step on somebody's damn neck and keep stepping on necks until they can get it all. Look at Elon Musk's story. It's something similar. Elon Musk didn't create, design, or come up or invent a motherfucking thing. The cars, the electric cars that belong to Elon Musk was not his idea. The hell, the name Tesla was stolen from a inventor in early America. The space ships, the space rockets, all of those people that create and invent the mechanisms and designs for SpaceX to work, they don't belong to Elon Musk. But because Elon Musk is a capitalist, he can buy out the designers and the inventors, and then he can put his name on it and say, I own Tesla, because technically and legally you do, but you're a piece of shit because you're not giving credit to the original designers. And because you of capitalism and you have the ability to buy out people with your money, now you can claim that the thing that you bought, all of its concepts, the way it was created, now because of capitalism, you can claim it's yours. Right? That's capitalism. It's bullshit. And because Elon Musk has so much money, now he can move his power and influence because he's done bought so much shit into these government contracts, right? He can buy out the contractors that was originally supposed to be the government contractors and claim it's his, which is what he did because of capitalism. But that's still not enough for Elon Musk. Same thing goes with Amazon and Jeff Bezos. The stories are the same. I think Mark Zuckerberg's case is a little different. That may have been his original idea. But whenever you look at people like Mark Zuckerberg, he has similar stories when it comes to platforms like Instagram, because Instagram did not belong to Mark Zuckerberg. He bought it out because of capitalism. Same thing with X. Because Elon Musk has so much damn money, he could buy a social media platform that don't belong to him. This is capitalism at one end of the spectrum, right? And then they program the rest of society, people like me and you, to say, "Oh, we love capitalism." But I can't buy no fucking slice of bread to put on my dinner table, even though I done worked all fucking week. I love capitalism. That's that damn indoctrination. They got you to actually display um, Stockholm syndrome when it comes to capitalism, being in love with your oppressor. You know, you love capitalism. I got to go to work tomorrow and I got to create this business. I got to go to work tomorrow and I got to come up with at least 80 hours a goddamn week. I can't hardly pay my light bill or buy food to go on the table, but I love capitalism. When capitalism is killing more goddamn people than any motherfucking disease on the damn planet. Because you're working to death. You're stressed about the economy. You're stressed about paying bills. You're stressed about the medical care. And you're stressed that you're not going to have the money. You're stressed. So even at a lower level, you see people robbing people. For instance, take these restaurants and the tip economy. These are people that make money with their businesses, but they invite waitresses and waiters inside the door and tell them, you got a job in my capitalistic system, but I can't pay you but $2.75. I'm a business owner, but I can't afford to pay you. So what you have to do working in my capitalistic system is you have to go beg the customers for tips. This is capitalism. When we know that the tip economy is rooted in goddamn slavery. But it's capitalism. So you have to take all of your pride and your influence and try to go persuade the customer who's paying for a product on the menu, at the menu price. And that's probably the only dinner that, you know, they could eat out that week because they didn't work so hard on this capitalistic job. They probably came into the restaurant knowing that they saved up enough money to buy this dinner this week for their family. And that's all the money that they got. But then they got a waitress because hitting them in the goddamn face for some more goddamn money in this capitalistic system. Because the waitress's boss really can't afford to pay the goddamn waitress but $2.75 an hour. So they've convinced the waitress to beg that damn family that's been working all goddamn week for more goddamn money in this capitalistic goddamn system. That's capitalism sucks. It just sucks. So what do the people in charge tell you to do in this capitalistic system? Well, they tell you to work harder. They tell you to work harder, and at the same time, they're cutting hours. They tell you to work harder, and at the same time, they offshoring industries. They're taking the jobs out of the damn country. They tell you to work harder. They're not creating jobs here in the damn country that you can make a good living wage from. That's why capitalism sucks. But the people at the top, they're getting paid. These are the greedy motherfuckers that American politics put in charge. These are the greedy, rich motherfuckers that people like ABC and Sarge decided that it was okay for them to be led by. The greedy people in charge that has all the money that participate in some of the most heinous fucking activities in society. They have these secret organizations. They have these secret meetings. They actually have disgusting ass clubs that involves child sex trafficking. This has been proven in the recent past here that Donald Trump and the elite, it don't matter what political side you're on, these elite motherfuckers, look at P. Diddy, a music mogul. Look at R. Kelly, a music mogul. I'm just naming people that we know. These people are in charge, involved in this disgusting social behavior that involves children and trafficking them. These are facts. I'm not accusing anybody of anything that has not already been proven. I'm just saying it out loud. And then you got the constituents of these sick individuals that will carry their water because they've been programmed to do so, just like you've been programmed to embrace capitalism. You can't see the mind manipulation is at the same level as whenever they're telling us to embrace capitalism. At the same time, they're telling you to embrace them as your leader. You've been programmed to embrace them, no matter what heinous, disgusting activities that they commit. You've been programmed to embrace them as your leader. You know, it's fun having conversations with ABC and Sarge because they expose exactly what I'm saying here. But they're grown men. They have families. They have women in their families because they're human. You can't be born alone, so you got to be born of a mom, and most likely you've got female relatives and children. So they're part of American society. But at the same time, when they call in here and I question them about the association that Donald Trump has with pedophilia and child sex trafficking, the indoctrination kicks in. The protectionism kicks in. And they're blinded in their conversation as they defend this behavior. Now, I can't say in their heart of hearts if they're conscious of doing what they are doing, but their actions speak and show that they are defending pedophilia behavior. Every time they don't disavow or disassociate themselves with Donald Trump, you're defending pedophiles. Every time. And that's why I let them talk. That's why I let them defend and protect the pedophiles. Because that's what they're doing. Every time. Until they call in and say, I don't want to be associated with no pedophiles, and mean it, because you would have to say, look, I can't fuck with Donald Trump because he's friend with a pedophile. I can't fuck with Donald Trump because he allowed a pedophile out of a maximum security prison and made it easier for that pedophile with Elaine Maxwell. That means you're defending all of that. You know, and as we watch Donald Trump, besides him being a fucking capitalist, we're watching America change, and Donald Trump trying to become an authoritarian, a dictator, somebody who's trying to destroy the political norms in America in such a way that he has complete power over all systems in this country, to where he has silenced dissent. Now, just imagine that. That is completely contradictory to what America really is. It was one thing that everybody in this country could agree on at one point in time in history. And that was the First Amendment of the Constitution. That everybody in this country has free speech. We used to argue about it all the goddamn time. And then we all agreed that free speech comes with conditions. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. That was the line, you know, in free speech. You can say every damn thing else, but you cannot use your speech to cause conditions that might harm other people, right? The whole screaming fire in the theater thing. And everybody agreed on it. So the reason, let me tell y'all the reason that the right was so hard on advocating for free speech. The only reason that white people in America said that there is no such thing as hate speech. The only reason that white people in America advocated for free speech so they can say any damn thing that they wanted to say was to call you a nigger. Because every time they call you the N-word or say something racist, they would stand on that podium and say, this is America. I can say whatever the fuck I want to say because of the First Amendment. That's what the argument was. That's why they advocated so strongly for the First Amendment. So they can call you a nigger. So they can say racist shit to you and not get held accountable. That's why white America advocated for the First Amendment. But you got dumbasses like ABC and Sarge, and when they came up with the concept of hate speech to stop people from saying just God awful stuff, you had Sarge and ABC come out there and say, well, they ain't no such thing as hate speech, right? Hate speech is protected under the First Amendment. They would advocate the right for white America to use some of these calling you a damn monkey, calling you a jigaboo, calling you all of these crazy ass racist ass names, saying that, you know, all of this racist shit to black. They advocated. Sergeant ABC would advocate for people to have the right to say those things. Now, me personally, I think that shit should be outlawed. I think that my children and my children's children shouldn't have to hear the privileged ass white fucking Americans be able to call them these fucking names as adults. That's just my personal opinion. I think there should be limitations when it comes to calling people those type of racist names. And that's outside of the First Amendment, and I know that. But I'll stand on that because I think it's wrong. I think it's hateful. I think it's disgusting that a grown ass white person would be able to walk up to a child because of their skin color and just say some of the most heinous, disgusting things to them because of their race. That's just my opinion. But I understand why people advocated for the First Amendment because of free speech. And since I'm talking about free speech, I'll Google it and kind of remind people of what it says. And I guess I got it on the screen there. So everybody can see. And you know me, I kind of stumble over my words, but hopefully let's click on this US Constitution link and see if, well, there it go right there. So it's pretty simple. Congress shall make no laws respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting free speech, exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for a regress of grievances. Those are simple words. I just read them with my country accent. Everybody understood what the fuck I said. And it's not too many words to confuse people. And basically, the First Amendment of the laws and rules of the United States of America says in this country, we can say whatever the fuck we want to say. That's what it says. And then, like I said, there's limitations. You can't scream fire in a crowded theater, or your speech can't cause people to hurt themselves and stuff like that. So there's a few buffers there, but it's not too tight to where you don't understand that in this country, in America, in our Constitution, we have the freedom to say whatever the fuck we want to say. Right? There is no disagreement with that. And I can see Sarge in the chat room, and you can put a Y in the chat room, Sarge, if you agree that my interpretation of the First Amendment is correct. It's not nothing to debate. We can say whatever we want to say in this country. And that's part of the motivation why some people, not all, migrate to this country, because other countries don't allow that. Other countries do not allow free speech. Okay, so And you know, I was just thinking when I said that. So here is what Google said about the UK. He said there is free speech in the UK. I spelled there wrong. There is free speech in the UK, but it's not absolute and is subject to legally defined limitations. Unlike the First Amendment in the United States Constitution, which uses more absolute language, the UK's right of freedom of expression is a qualified right balanced against the other considerations such as public safety, crime prevention, and the rights of the reputation of others. The rights of reputation of others is in the UK's free speech. So, in other words, I'm assuming, because I'm not from the UK, if your speech somehow impugns or bothers somebody else's reputation, then that's against their rules, their laws, right? In other words, you can't walk around the UK calling people niggas. That's what I kind of gather from this. You can't impugn uh, the reputations of other people in the UK. So here it says the key limitations of free speech in the UK. The UK imposes several restrictions on expression to protect individuals and public order. These include hate speech, legislation of public order in 1986, and the Hate Crimes Public Law Order prohibits the incitement of racial, religious, or sexual orientation based hatred. You can't call people uh, slurs about their sexuality, like calling people uh, that has transsexual or that is gay in this country, or just you can't do that in the UK. Look like malicious communications. Communications, the Act of 2003 makes it criminal offense to send indecent or grossly offensive or menacing messages. In the UK, you probably can't pick up the damn phone and call your congressman and leave these threatening, I'm going to kill your wife and children messages in the goddamn UK. But white America, because of free speech, they're able to do that. Disorderly conduct laws penalize the use of threatening or abusive words, behaviors likely to cause harassment or alarm or distress. Harassment and threats, terrorism, defamation. Okay, so these are other categories, but you get my point. And it's interesting to actually compare the two of free speech is one here in the United States where we can say any motherfucking thing we want to say, and the UK where they got limitations on their speech. So, you know, you don't impugn nobody's reputation over there. So I'm saying all of this to say that it is established in this country that free speech is very near and dear to America. Now, you have an orange idiot in the White House. I done heard this man call so many damn names. When I try to refer to him, those names just ran through my head. Like I've heard somebody call him the Mango Mussolini. I've heard him been called the Dollar Tree Dictator. There's just so many damn names out there that which fits him, just suits him. But anyway, but you have this orange idiot in the White House that because his feelings get hurt, he's canceling TV shows and getting people fired. You know, last week this whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel getting fired because the president violated the fucking law, used the power of his office through the FCC. This is a complete violation of the First goddamn Amendment. Used the power of his office to fire an American comedian. But you'll have Sergeant ABC say, because they're programmed and indoctrinated, you have them say that they don't see anything wrong with what Donald Trump did. This is how you know they're indoctrinated. Sarge would probably tell you what Donald Trump did wasn't illegal. It was. It was against the law. It was against the law for Donald Trump to have his FCC head threaten Disney and ABC and Nexstar and whatever else, you know, to take Jimmy Kimmel off of the air. That was illegal. But because this whole entire country is batshit crazy and we live in the world's largest circus, we have a Supreme Court that tell us that because this orange idiot is in office, he is immune from being held accountable for the fucking laws that he break. So the Mango Mussolini can do whatever the fuck he want to do, basically. So when he say jump, all of these fucking capitalists, all of these fucking billionaires, all of these people that cheated in capitalism, when Donald Trump say jump, they say how the fuck high? It makes me wonder, why the fuck did y'all make all that money? Why did y'all rob, steal, and cheat and kill people in the process to become as wealthy as you are if you're still going to bend over when another rich motherfucker tells you what to do? How does that feel, Mark Zuckerberg, looking like a goddamn patsy or a weak-ass piece of shit? You done made all that money. You done stole and robbed. How does that feel, Elon Musk? How does that feel, Jeff Bezos, Jeff, whatever the fuck your name is on Amazon? What is that? Jeff Bezos. Well, how does that feel when you so goddamn rich, but you ain't rich enough? How does it feel for the head of Disney and all of these damn television stations to be so motherfucking wealthy off the capitalism that y'all done made it, but you ain't rich enough for a motherfucker to make you look like shit? Like I said, I don't live in that world. I'm not a millionaire, nowhere near it. I'm just a poor goddamn black man living in the goddamn society of America. But these motherfuckers show you why they should not be in office. This tells you why you should not have people with money in positions of political power. This shows you this country is going by the fucking wayside. Donald Trump is indiscriminately blowing up motherfucking Venezuelan goddamn fisher boats, murdering people on a fucking regular without due process. He's a fucking murderer. And then just before I came on here tonight, I found out that this motherfucker indicted James Comey. And I'm like, okay, what? I don't know if y'all remember the whole circumstances with James Comey. But when Hillary Clinton was running, and she was winning, I don't like Hillary Clinton, but she was in charge. She was in front. She was in front until James Comey came out and made an announcement about Hillary Clinton, and that just and he wasn't supposed to do that during no goddamn campaign. But that announcement that James Comey made allowed Donald Trump to pull ahead and beat Hillary Clinton. So, in my opinion, if it weren't for James Comey, then Trump would have fucking lost. But James Comey helped Donald Trump out by making that announcement about the Hillary Clinton investigation or some bullshit. I can't remember what it was, but he made the announcement right in the middle of the goddamn campaign season. So to me, he helped Donald Trump out. So I want to know now, James Comey, how the fuck does it feel to first kiss Donald Trump's ass, break the goddamn campaign rules in America as the head of the FBI, making a goddamn announcement like that in the middle of the goddamn campaign, allow Donald Trump to win, you dumb son of a bitch, and then when he get in office, you figure out you don't like him, so you had the investigation into his administration, rightfully so, because there was Russian connections there. That was a damn good thing that he did, but I still don't like him because he's a piece of shit. But you had the investigation, found all of this shit on Donald Trump, and you know he's guilty because you did the investigation. And now, I don't know, 7, 8 years later, your ass get indicted by Donald Trump. So how this is white privilege, what James Comey has, because he's not going to go to jail. Ain't nothing going to happen. This is fucking going to be like public embarrassment for James Comey. But now, he's indicting your ass. And there's two sides of this goddamn omelet. Donald Trump is being a dictator because he's enacting retribution on his political enemies. And that's another reason why this case probably won't go far, because of all the fucking shit that Donald Trump done said publicly about this man, which tainted the case, tainted the jury. You know, I'm not a lawyer, but Donald Trump has said so much public shit about James Comey. I don't know. He's probably doing this so James Comey would have to spend some money and defend himself. James Comey don't have it at his disposal, the economic backing that Donald Trump has. That's the same reason Donald Trump got these TV stations to pay him, because Donald Trump has our money. He has the taxpayer money for his legal representation. So he got an endless amount of money to sue people, basically. And that's what he's doing. But that's what your ass get, James Comey. I don't want nothing to happen to James Comey. It turned out that, you know, he's been a strong voice once he woke up against Donald Trump. But fuck him. You know, I hate to see this happening, but it shows you that Donald Trump is abusing his power. It shows you that Donald Trump has weaponized the government. Donald Trump is enacting political retribution on his political enemies, I guess you might say. And all of that's illegal. Everything I just said Donald Trump did is fucking impeachable and illegal. When he got Jimmy Kimmel fired, that was illegal. And then you know what? The one good thing about Jimmy Kimmel, and if there's any good thing, it shows that America don't realize how powerful it can be if Americans embraced being American. Notice I didn't say that if you embrace one political side or the other. If Americans held this country to a certain standard forcefully, then we wouldn't see none of this shit, right? It would be hard for Donald Trump to do what Donald Trump is doing if Americans actually stood for the Constitution and for the rule of law. But a lot of Americans don't. Because a lot of Americans see what Donald Trump is doing and they turn their head. A lot of Americans see what Donald Trump is doing and they agree with it. You know, I watched clips on Charlie Kirk's memorial. And like I said, Donald Trump rallies or KKK meetings. That's what that memorial was. That was a fucking KKK meeting. Stephen Miller got up and gave a speech. And he sounds just like Adolf Hitler. He sounds just like a fucking Nazi. Stephen Miller sounds just like a fucking Nazi as he was talking about white people creating everything. Everything belongs to white people. If it wasn't for white people, the world wouldn't function. He sounds like a fucking Nazi. And I think he holds a high position in Donald Trump's office. He's not the chief of staff. I think he's the second in line or right up under the chief of staff or some type of advisor or some bullshit to Donald Trump. But he's in Donald Trump's ear. We have racist people like Stephen Miller right next to the levers of power, influencing the damn president. This country has turned into a racist damn country. This is the same shit that I was warning people about years ago. We're watching it unfold as these racist white people take charge of this country. Charlie Kirk was a fucking racist. Proud racist. I'm not saying nothing that would offend Charlie Kirk. When I say that he was a misogynist, that would not offend Charlie Kirk. When I say that he was a xenophobe, that would not offend Charlie Kirk. There's audios out there proving everything that I said or am saying about Charlie Kirk, he embraced. He embraced being a racist. He embraced not wanting migrants in this country. He embraced white nationalism. He was a racist. And at that memorial, that's all you seen was a damn KKK rally. And they're taking advantage of that dead racist to push racism to another level. Because now you got a dead body, a martyr, if you will. And then you got people that may have been leaning towards supporting a racist administration. Now they will, because they got to sacrifice. Remember that word, it's in your damn Bible. Now that Charlie has sacrificed himself, that has motivated a lot of people to say, I'm here for this sacrifice. This man sacrificed himself. That's why I'm supporting him. And his sorry ass wife and the Trump administration is taking advantage of what I just said to mobilize and more racists in this damn country at that damn memorial. They don't miss an opportunity to mobilize more white people in this country to be racist. They're on a mission, and it's fast and furious. So at every opportunity, remember I told y'all about the 73% of the population that if they got a hold of, then they wouldn't have to goddamn run no more politics. If they got a hold of that 75, that 73, that demographic, that white America, if they got the majority of that 70-some% of Americans, we're 13%. I think we're still 13%. I think the Mexicans and the Spanish people that have moved ahead of us. But we're 13%. They're 70-something%. And if they found a way to access that 70-something%, they don't give a fuck about. That's why you didn't see nobody pandering toward Black America from the Republican Party. Because they found a way to activate white America through racism. And it's working. This shows you that that average, everyday white person that you are buddies with, the school teacher, the fucking person at the grocery store, the nurses, the doctors, the lawyers, the police officers, even though they smile in your damn face, they support racism in this damn country. That's just a fact. Tyrone, why did the DOJ scrub the facts off of the? Well, yeah. I mean, I know I'm rambling, but East Coast just made a point, and I'm gonna shut up here. I know I'm talking. So look, what the point that East Coast just made is that the Department of Justice scrubbed from the website where most of the political violence is coming from in this country. And the political violence is mainly coming from the right. Oh, Lord. Breaking news. We had another white motherfucker shooting up somebody this goddamn week. So I forgot to tell y'all about that. We had another white man with a damn gun on the loose in this damn country, and he killed some damn migrants. But yeah, they scrubbed all the information off of the website about where the political violence come from, right? And the talking points is the shit that Sarge come on here and say, that most of political violence come from the left. We all know that. If you're listening to me and you've been around we know that's not true. We know that's not true. Because we watch the killings and we watch their political association. We read the fucking manifestos. We see the targets. All of that shit, the political violence is coming from the right. The majority of it. So they used to track that data. And the Department of Justice, because they're racist and they don't want white people to be identified as terrorists in this goddamn country, which they are, they actually took the information off of the fucking website. The Department of fucking Justice I seen a video from what was that kid named Adam Mockler. Y'all don't know if y'all watch him. And he was explaining that same thing that East Coast just said. And because they couldn't get the data, they had to go to the Anti-Defamation League, and he got these charts. I'll share them with y'all. Y'all can see them. I don't give a shit. And it'll show you where the damn political violence is coming from in this country. Because they track this shit. I don't track it, but somebody does. And there it is. Do y'all got that? No, that's not the whole page. So I got to give y'all the whole page. I think that's it. All right, so this is the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, and it's murder and extremists in the United States in 2023. That's the most recent data that they have. So I'm gonna try to find that chart that he had. Okay, so it says domestic extremist related killings in the United States by the perpetrator's affiliation. And you can see that white supremacists is 88%. And that's 2003. The Proud Boys is 6%, and other is 6%. So you can see white supremacists, extremist killings is 88% of that data. Now that was 2023. Now they did a chart from 2014 to 2023. White supremacists, right-wing extremists is 76%. The left-wing extremists, including anarchists and black nationalists, is 4%. 4%. The domestic Islamic extremists is 19%. That's kind of high. I don't like that, but it ain't 76 goddamn percent. And others 1%. So what I'm trying to tell you is this data proves what I was saying last week about white people murdering people. These savages always killing somebody. Nearly 3 out of 4 killings committed by right wingers are committed by white supremacists. This is a fact. And here's an interesting chart. So in 1971 to 1980, this chart shows that most of the damn killings were by left-wing extremists. Look at this chart. This is weird. It says 21 from 1971 to 1980. And then 1 by right wing. So I don't know what the hell was going on in 1971 to 1980. But there was a lot of left-wing people killing people. But look at how this fucking numbers flip. In 1980 to 90, it was even. And then from 1991 to 2000, it was more right-wing people killing people. Now, from 2001 to 2010, there was an event that happened in there that caused these white people to be mad. Barack Obama was elected in 2009, I believe, and they just started killing up some motherfuckers. And it was about even in 2011 to 2020. No, it won't even. It was more right wing. And my point with showing you all this is that I am not afraid to say that sometimes you do have violence, extreme violence from the left wing. And sometimes I sympathize with some of that left wing violence. I'm not even going to sit up here and pull no punches and say I don't. If I get to know the story and I find out why these people acted the way they act, you know, I can kind of understand where they're coming from. But for the life of me, I would never be able to sympathize with right wing extreme because their shit is based in hate and it's based in racism and it's based in just, you know, I'm superior to you and all this kind of bullshit. So I won't never understand that. But whenever you got left wing extremists that sometimes are acting out for economic reasons or oppression or just completely frustrated with this goddamn system, I mean, I can't say that I don't understand. I don't agree with the murderers, but you know, I can understand, you know, their point of view. But I don't condone killing anybody, and I don't you know, and I probably said a little much right there, but you know, I'm just being honest. But I could never understand the right wing extremists and the dangers of what the DOJ did by snatching that data is it's hiding the fact that white males have become radicalized in this country. And now they've got an outlet in these mass shootings. And you can best believe me that there's probably some group or game or forum that is idolizing these people. Why'd I say that? Look at what they did to that little racist ass person. What was that damn boy name? What was that black boy name that was crying on this stand? Ah, man, I can't think of his name. I'll get it. Kyle Rittenhouse, that motherfucker. Look at it. But so they idolize Kyle Rittenhouse whenever he clearly committed murder. So I can almost promise you that these right wing extremists are motherfucking cheering on all of these people that are going to jail for mass shootings. And believe it or not, you probably got some right wing anti-fascist groups because all right, all white people don't like fascism. They want to be racist, but they don't want to. They got different groups. I tried to explain this to you last time. They got different little groups that they get in, and they probably some right wing anti-fascist people cheering on what happened to Charlie Kirk. We won't never see them. You know, it's kind of third rail right now to actually for them to actually say that they didn't mind Charlie Kirk going to see his maker. But they probably some right wing groups that agree with that. You know, now there's a conspiracy out there about, and I don't want to go down these rabbit holes, but I know that there's one that's going viral now, to where this guy has analyzed the footage and said that Charlie Kirk didn't get shot in the direction that Robinson was at, and all this kind of bullshit. You know, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just repeating what is out there, you know, because I'm not a ballistic analyst and all this kind of stuff, looking at grainy videos and all that kind of bullshit. And this guy ain't either. So, I mean, they giving him credibility because he was in the military and he shot guns and all that kind of stuff. But that's just not enough credibility for you to sit in your house and analyze footage and say what happened didn't happen. I can't. But you got a lot of people falling for that shit, and that's the dangers of social media. When somebody make a really interesting video or a video that looks, you know, credible, next thing you know, people are repeating it and following it and all this kind of bullshit. But it's terrible that we also live in a time to where you have the government, the FBI, manipulating information, hiding data, and not being honest with the American people. So the skepticism is valid. It is valid skepticism on what really happened, because this FBI ain't worth shit. It really ain't. So I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. Hold on. Oh, this is what I wanted to say too. What we're watching now is that in America, Christianity is being taken over by white extremists, by white nationalist extremists. And all of their racism, it's nothing new for racists. They've always embraced Christianity, the KKK and their crosses, and the KKK and their Christianity, and all that kind of stuff. They've always embraced it. And that's one of the arguments that I would have with Black Jesus Minister back in the day. How the fuck can you be on the same side as these goddamn racists? And then that's when they would come up with Jesus was black and all this kind of stuff, and you know, the information being manipulated, blah blah blah, whatever. But Christianity, Christians are being overtaken by white supremacists in this country. Christianity, or American Christian, is becoming extremists in this country. Christianity and American Christians are now racist in this country. That is the representation that you see from Erica Kirk, from Stephen Miller, from Caroline Levitt, Fox News. All of these people that are claiming Christianity are racist. So now, what I'm saying, I'm kind of pleading that Black American Christians, y'all need to separate yourself from this type of American Christianity, or else you would end up looking like a goddamn coon. You need to make sure that you specify that you don't agree with everybody that calls themselves Christians. You don't just need to say, "Oh, well, you're a Christian." No. These people hate you. And speaking of religion, we had something interesting happen this week. There was supposed to be a rapture. Did y'all hear about that? I turned on the computer the other day, and I think it was no, it was around Monday. No, it was either Saturday or Sunday. But every video on there was about all of these people that were supposed to be raptured. So I did click on TikTok, and I found a whole bunch of people that were supposed to be raptured on the 23rd of this month. People were selling their cars, giving away their money, waiting to be raptured. Now, you know me as with my mindset. At first, I found it entertaining, but at the same time, it was sad and scary because here you have a belief system that, based on somebody's word, these people have started giving away their money, their cars. They started making plans, and what they was making plans to do was to die. Think about it. These people said that I know on September the 23rd I'm going to die, and I'm happy about it. That is some crazy shit. That is some type of fucking, what word am I? Some type of, I think I'm looking for the word psychosis. Let me see. Psychosis. Y'all know me, I have to look up words. Yeah. Yeah, that's some type of psychosis, a mental health condition characterized by the loss of contact with reality. It involves disruption in thought, perception, and behaviors that can lead to delusion, hallucinations, disorganized thinking, a change in behavior. So that was some type of group religious psychosis that these people are so ready to fucking die that all at the same time they started publicly saying that I'm not going to be here on the 23rd no more. What the fuck? That, you had people out there making fun of them and stuff like that. Back in the day, I probably would have, but when I think about it, I'm like, these people are really sick. But they're normal. They're normal people. They're gonna drive somebody's school bus tomorrow. They're gonna go to somebody's fucking classroom and teach. They probably gonna go to some doctor's office and perform surgery. These are normal people that publicly came out and said that they are ready to die. And I think it started by this guy in Africa. This preacher in Africa said that the rapture is supposed to happen on that day, and it just took off from there. Now, what I'm waiting on is I'm waiting on these same people to come back out. I ain't seen one yet. I'm waiting on these same people to come back out and say, I was wrong and all that kind of stuff. But they never do. They never do. It doesn't matter how often you prove a Christian wrong. They won't never take accountability. They'll come up with another reason why what they said was going to happen won't happen. But it's one of these things to where if you guys were paying attention last week about this rapture, you had a whole bunch of people that were just ready to go. It was just, I think this guy was from the UK, and he made a video, gave his car away. His car was getting put on the tow truck and saying that he's not going to need it anymore and all that kind of shit. I was like, what the fuck? What is wrong with people? But that's the type of mentality. That's how malleable. That's how your brain is like putty. And that's what Donald Trump and all of his associates, that's what they playing on. They playing on a whole bunch of dumb motherfuckers like Sarge and them. Hey, what's up, Elisa? How you doing?
Hi, hi, Tyrone. How are you?
What's happening? What's happening?
Nothing much. I heard you talking about the rapture. Yeah, the preacher was from South Africa. Um, but I wasn't following that, but I just thought people was doing a lot of joking and things about that. But you said, did they ever come out and say that they made a mistake. No. Usually what I've heard whenever I don't know how often, when the dates and stuff, but whenever this has come about in society, that we have an actual date again for the rapture, they just usually say that it happened, and the most righteous or whatever the wording that they use, they were taken. I mean, because there's how many billions of people on the planet,
Wait a
so
minute, you
we would
saying
know.
you saying that somebody said that that rapture actually happened?
Yeah, throughout time of different people, when there has been raptures,
Uh-huh.
they'll say that it did happen, and people was like, "Well, all us is here," and their response is, "It did happen. It's just select few who were really of the righteous was taken." And so you wouldn't know. Let me see how many people on the planet.
I don't
How
know,
many
300
people?
billion or some crap.
I'm looking how many people on the planet. There's about no. They said it's approximately 8.2 billion people on Earth as of
Jesus Christ.
2025.
That's
As
grown.
of eight, yeah, as of eight, as of
Uh-oh. Hold on. I did something. I'm sorry. Go ahead, my bad.
oh yes. So if there's like 8.2 billion people on the planet as of 8 2025, as of 2025, I'm sorry, uh they could throughout, since I have been knowing what the rapture was, when they would come back and people was like, well, it didn't happen, those who predicted it and given a date, they'll say that it did, that certain select righteous people who were ready, they were taken. Just because you didn't know anybody, that's usually what I've heard is given why, so they're not going to say no, it didn't. But I've heard that excuse given that it did happen. So
I ain't heard
maybe
that yet.
only
I like to see somebody try to
for,
explain that that claim that
well,
it did happen.
I've heard it. I've heard it, and like maybe a certain thousand people just went, and you don't know. Then I've heard people say, well, people like just go missing, and so it's always excuses that can be used
Mm.
why everybody is here. So you just didn't know anyone righteous enough. That's why all of y'all still here. But if the rapture were true, and how stringent it is to be able to get through, I would expect to be left here. I don't know about you, and it's not because I'm a bad person. It's just because some of the things that they claim that you have to do, you have to be about, you have to be. I would expect most people to be left here, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Even the ones that
So
claim that they're gonna be, even the ones that claim they're gonna be raptured, probably gonna be left here. you know.
yeah.
So yeah, I expect most
So
people to be
I would
left here.
expect that the Earth is to look basically the same, because everybody's not following the same thing. You got people who's eating shrimp and even little things like that. You're not really following the teachers. I don't know if they said you have to accept the teachers or you have to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Everyone don't accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. They're probably religious. They believe in a higher power, but they don't necessarily accept Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior. Judaism doesn't teach that. Islam and different things like that, they don't. So I would
Well, yeah,
expect
this
an
is strictly a
overwhelming.
Christian thing, and other religions not involved. So that seems selfish to me, but that's what it is.
Yeah, it's selfish. It's very selfish. So I wouldn't expect to go. I wouldn't expect to go either. I expect to be left here. Because when people who I knew was laughing and joking about it that day after that, some people was like, well, I'm not going to joke about it because we have been through so much in 5 years and the current state of things. We went through a pandemic, we went through quarantine, and then we all kinds of crazy things has happened since that time. And look at where we are looking at the fall of America.
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. The rapture people said, well, I'm going to shut my mouth because it's liable to happen, you know. So I was just like, well, I'll be here. Whoever's still here, I'll be here tomorrow because I know I'm not going to be selected.
But it
It is
just
me and
threw
my
me
mom.
how serious these people was, and that one guy from the UK that was giving away his car, and some people said that
Some
they
people,
gave away their money, and I'm like, wow, this is really a bad mental problem. What did I say? Psychosis. This is something really
I
wrong
wish
with people.
something's really wrong with them now. If someone I knew said, okay, I think it was like really someone I knew, I know this person, and they start giving away, they start giving away all their things and cleaning out their bank account. I would take some. I would be like, but let me finish.
Oh yeah, I'll
Someone that
take
I
it
really know.
if they want
No,
to give it
no, no,
away.
no. But see, you would take it and keep it. No, someone that I care about, and I see that they have some type of psychosis going on with this, and if they wanted to clean out their bank account, yes, I would say, well, give me all the money, and give my mom all of the sign over everything to people who I know are trustworthy, and then once this day comes and passes,
Mm-hmm.
and then talk them into getting some therapy, some help, some whatever they need. I would give them. This is somebody I said I care about,
Oh, you
and
give
I just
back.
give them.
Oh,
Yeah, I said somebody that I care about.
okay,
I would
okay, I
do
got
that
you.
for them before they just some random person off the street. They gonna keep it. So somebody that I care about, yeah, I would do that to try to help them. But just some random person, if they say I'm going to give you $10,000 because I'm cleaning out my bank account, I'm like, what for? They say rapture. This is somebody random. I'd be like, okay, this is a windfall for me. I would take it. Yes, I would
Yeah,
try
but
to do some good
it's
with it
kind of
though.
amazing to me how people can just easily just fall for this stuff like all of a sudden. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, they do. Because when we were little, we used to hear about that. They say that the rapture was coming, and I remember my dad was just so upset that people, my uncles and them, and different other people, especially my uncles, they would be so mad because the children would be all scared, afraid, and scared that the world, because we would hear on the television that the world is ending on Friday, walking past the TV and hear that. And they would get so upset because all the children and everybody would be upset and scared. So you want to get my father pissed off, you have people start talking about that. My mother's brothers and them, God, they used to lose their lunch when they hear people start talking that stuff. They will lose their lunch off that because it has people frightened and scared, especially children. So
Yeah.
I don't know. If we gonna always in a couple of years, somebody gonna have another date set for the rapture. Cause my mom hadn't even heard about it, and I was on the phone with her. I said, the rapture. What was that? What was it last? What day was it supposed to be? I forgot. Whatever day. I said, the rapture's tomorrow. And she's like, I didn't hear nothing about that. I said, yeah, the rapture
Yeah,
is
it was supposed to be on the
tomorrow.
23rd of this month.
Yeah, so she was like, "Oh, I didn't hear about that." She said, "Well, if I'm gone, I made it in. We went on about our business, but people take that stuff serious. They really do, and it's scary for those who take it serious, and it's also sad that people take it serious. They probably take that more serious than if somebody say Russia about to set off a nuke. Now, you
Yeah.
really need to be scared of that. You be scared of that, but I don't know. It was just crazy to me that so many. I didn't see people buying into it. I didn't see anyone buying into it. But
Well,
I
you had to
not
go down
anybody.
to you had to go down that hole in TikTok. There's a whole rabbit hole that
Yeah,
you had to
I
go
mean,
down.
like people. Nobody I knew
Oh,
was saying, they just blew that thing off, and people who I see on Facebook was just blowing it off. No one I knew, but no, I saw videos of people who were like, so I don't know these people who was taking that stuff serious. And it was scary to see. But I mean, Tyrone, look at what's happening in the world right now. I
yeah.
can kind of, a little bit, get it. Why some people is buying into it that it's time now. Oh, and then people were making jokes. Well, we knew Trump wasn't getting in, but that's not true. They wouldn't. It's not true. You can't say that Trump was going to still be left down here with us. Yeah, because I said that too. But in the Bible, let me read something because this hits upon something that you said.
Hmm.
Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. This hits upon because I was talking about this not too long ago. Like, why so many talking about Christian people? Why some of like the evangelicals and stuff like that? Why they believe that? Well, some of them actually believe he's the second coming and all of these things. And it says, from a biblical perspective, the idea that God would use a flawed man to deliver his message is not only possible, but it's a central theme. The Bible is full of examples of prophets and leaders and apostles
Mm.
were imperfect and made mistakes, yet were still used by God for his purpose. And then let me finish. Why would God use this imperfect people? According to Christian theology, God uses flawed people for several key reasons. To demonstrate his grace and power, that's by working through the imperfect, because, and then also because people are flawed. According to the Bible, no one is perfect or without sin except Jesus. To, and then also to provide relatable examples for people and to cultivate humanity. And because the person, and one long thing that I was reading, because the purpose person is flawed, that people have a better chance. He has a better chance of them listening to a slick. I'm just using my actual words. I'm putting on
Hmm.
slicksters, fraudsters, grifters, people who do anything. He know that mankind, he, and I'm saying he because that's how it's, he knows that mankind will listen. He will be able to, a flawed person will be able to get the attention of mankind quicker than someone who is, say, like Jesus, or someone who is, above reproach, someone who is like a really, really good person. They'll listen to that flawed person can get everybody's attention quicker. So that is one reason why a lot of the evangelicals, because they truly believe that, because he is flawed, but he was able to get their ear, so that was God's plan. And that was the craziest thing after I had got the true understanding of that, of why evangelicals, all of the things that they hear that this man says, does, they know he cheats people, they know he's scripting, all of the things that went on well before he was even thinking about running for president, the cheating on the wives and all of those things that are true and that are proven, just dirty stuff.
Yeah, I
They
mean that's
said because
that scripture you read just gave them an excuse to support Donald Trump.
exactly. So that's why. And because it never made, because like my grandfather, my mother said her father used to say when they go to church, who are they praying to up in their church? Who these people praying to? Because it can't be the God that we pray to when we go to church. Because they do any kind of thing outside of church and then go in and be on their knees praying. What kind of God do they have up in their church? So God says that, and also I heard it was another. This person was a pastor, and he's trying to get through. He said he used to be. I listened to one of his sermons, not sermons, but one of his. He did a video. He joined Facebook for this because he saw where a lot of Christian people was going down the path with all of this, anointing Trump. And he felt that he was trying to talk to the people. And I genuinely enjoyed, even though I'm not Christian and I don't follow that, I genuinely enjoyed because he was talking to the people. I think he was not he wasn't Catholic, but that is one that's like next to them, but not Catholic. And he saw where the people was following this stuff and using the word of God and things in that. So he felt a duty to start when I'll find his channel and I'll put it out to talk to the people to tell them that they're going down the wrong path. This is not what this man is not. And I think it was really good. I do give him respect for that. I respect him for that. And it's not fire and brimstone. He's just having a conversation, basically with white people. It's a conversation, and he's a pastor. He's trying to get through to these people that somehow or another you all got it all. You all are going by a flawed interpretation and different things like that. And I really respected it. He said because if he was saying like to be able to get into the kingdom of God, a lot of people say that you have to accept Jesus Christ as your Savior
Mm-hmm.
when you're on your deathbed or some however whatever his wording. And he was saying so if you had Adolf Hitler and you had Mr. Rogers from Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And they've never been able to find any scandal or anything on the man. I do believe Mr. Rogers was the true deal. Just kind and just some people are just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said you put those two together, and if Adolf remembers before he blew his brains out with their gun, he said, "I accept you, Jesus Christ, as my Lord and Savior." And Mr. Rogers dies of a stroke and doesn't get a chance to do that. Hitler getting into heaven, but Mr. Rogers won't.
Yeah,
And he
that's
was like,
crazy.
so you see what I'm saying? So he said you all have to question how some people their teachings of it, their teachings of the book of the word, and their teachings, their interpretation of things, and in a sense, don't buy into the interpretation that everybody's feeding to you. And I thought that was so good. I was like more evangelical Christians. They need. And he's grown a large following. Since I don't watch him all the time, but every once in a while I will check in just to see where his membership count is at and how many people. And he is really growing. So I said maybe he can help some of them because he's just telling them a lot of that stuff is interpretation.
Yeah.
And when he's giving examples like that, Adolf Hitler will get into heaven, but Mr. Rogers won't. So some of these people are giving you literal interpretations. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there are trying to help the evangelicals. And that's why he said he joined. He had somebody, not Facebook, to YouTube, to help him to set up the YouTube channel so he could figure out, because he thought maybe he could do some good to someone in these trying times. And I respect that. Even
Well,
though I'm
I
not a
know that
religious person, I respect that.
white Christianity in America or evangelicals, they're becoming radicalized, and I
Yes,
just hope that black people pull away from that and not just use that connection with the Bible to try to give these people sympathy, because they are turning into
exactly.
they're turning into a completely different Christian. These people are
Yes.
practicing white nationalism and racism, and
And
they're
it,
embracing it. And just because
through
they
Chris, through
all
through
them Christians, they
Christianity.
yeah, all that Christian stuff, that they need to separate themselves from that, because that's what's going
They
on.
do. They do. And that's why he is a white minister. What I'm gathering from him, because I saw one of his videos, because I subscribe, even though I don't watch him like that. I just look to see what's going on there to get the pulse of what's going on. And he did a video on Charlie Kirk, and I have been meaning to listen to that, and I keep putting it off. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend to see what his doctrine he was trying to put out against that. And I'm pretty sure it was a good one because he's trying to wake people up. This Christian nationalism, that's not it. And hopefully he's helping. And I do. I'll say it again. I respect that of him. I do. I respect that because he's seeing so many Christians getting caught up in this, and they're going by literal interpretations that people are putting out that's hate filled, and that's what he's trying to get through to them. And there's quite a few pastors and preachers and stuff that has joined YouTube and got channels because they're thinking that hopefully they can do some good. And I think that's a good thing, and I wish them well on that. And I posted in the comment section that I'm not a Christian, but I'm wishing you well with what you're trying to do because it's needed. It really is. Because our country has gone to, our country has gone to shit.
Yep.
And it's getting worse and it's getting worse. The religion has always been bastardized. That's why I left it alone. But it's even more so now.
Yeah, these
More
people
so,
ain't
it's
taking
getting
their foot
worse.
off the gas. They just gonna continue and continue. I don't know what the end gonna be like, but
I
I
don't
don't
know what
know.
it's gonna look like either. But I'm not even giving up. But because there are some people, as long as there's some people who's trying on the religious tip, black, white, some of everybody in between, as long as it's regular people, and some of the maggots turning against this, that I have some hope. We have to have some, because every day you're just bombarded with so much awfulness. But some of it is distraction. We know that. You should be smart enough to know that. But
Well,
just like I
yeah,
saw a
you
little
that's a
while,
good point because everything that they do is a distraction because they doing stuff
yeah,
behind the scene to steal money and
yeah,
just embolden themselves and enrich themselves up. But we keep talking about
exactly.
Donald Trump shutting down Jimmy Kimmel or Charlie Kirk or what we talking about other stuff that we ain't watching what Donald Trump is really doing.
What he's doing behind the scenes, because during that whole because the Charlie Kirk thing is going to start, the conversation's dying down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still a lot of conspiracy surrounding his killing. And I follow some of them to see what they're saying. And some of the things they're saying kind of make sense. But I'm not going to get caught down that rabbit hole that real deep with it.
Yeah, that's
But
what
it
I
was
was saying about that guy who
so,
was explaining the shooting. I said it sounds interesting, but I mean,
yeah.
it's just.
It's plausible though.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put it there. It's plausible. So I just want to see what people are saying. But so much went on when the conversation was heavy. Like right the first few days, every news article that was coming up your feeds all over social media, all over the thing was about that, about that. It's starting to die down because as you know, human beings don't stay just like children in a sense. We don't stay running. They don't stay running on. You have to remain focused. And a lot of people will stay trying to remain focused. The Epstein file, and so many things was released up in that. There's text messages and all of that was going on, where everybody was talking about the Charlie Kirk
Mm-hmm.
murder,
Yep.
and all kinds of things was going on. And just like they're talking about the government shutdown, I do believe there's more behind that, not just a regular shutdown, but to get people all caught up in that. And one of the things, because there's a new woman, I had to look her name up, that they had an election in one of the states for the House, and she won the seat. You know how they have those, not emergency elections. One of those, sometimes somebody retire or something's going on,
Yeah.
and then the seat comes up. Yeah, so I can't think of the wording for that. And they had one of those elections in the state, one of the states, and she won the seat. She got the seat, and she said that I'm going to look up the name stuff for everybody. That she was going to sign on to the releasing of everything. Hopefully, nothing redacted, nothing this that. And that was the vote. It was the one more vote that they needed, and she's supposed to be sworn in, I think, in the next week. She's supposed to be like 2 weeks. So if the government is shut down, they can't swear her in. And then they're picking into her family. Let me look her name up while I'm talking right now. Uh, they're picking into her family, and people were saying, well, if the government shut down, she can't be sworn in, and that gives them a little bit more time to try to coerce or whatever. Let me see, new Congress woman to be sworn in. Oh, what's her name? Okay, here we go. I don't want to mess it up. Adelita Gridge, Adelita, Adelita Grijabla.
What
Did my best.
what district was
A
she from?
Demo- she's a Democrat from Arizona. She won the September 23rd, 2025 special election field seat of her late father, Raul uh, Gri- Grivala. I just have to say I'm going to pronounce it. So her significance, her win is historic, making her the first Latina represent Arizona in Congress. And she said after she won the election, I guess they had already, to be trying to get those people to vote for it. That yes, she was definitely going to sign on to it, and that's the one more vote they needed. And so her swearing in was supposed to be, let me get her name. Wait a minute, because I like to get things correct.
So now is that in Washington where she won at?
No, Arizona.
I'm saying that is she gonna be working in Washington or Arizona?
Yeah, she's going to be. She's just House Congress. Yeah, so it wasn't a like local senator or something like that. No, she's
Oh,
Congress.
okay.
Okay, so her swearing in when being successful, how it's the Grivalva when means success for the House petition to force the vote for the FC. So that's what they needed her. Let me see, swearing in. Let me see, her date was supposed to be, because her father held the seat. News, Who will she chief? Will take office. Well, anyway, her swearing in is supposed to be, because I don't see a date, but it's supposed to be like in the next week or two. But it's supposed to be soon. So, because I guess her father must have was ill, so he wasn't going to be there to vote or whatever was going on with that. But she said almost definitely, definitely, I'm signing on to that. So that's one thing that's supposed to happen. And then also, people like this with this government shutdown, they already announced that they're going to be laying off I don't know, hundreds, thousands of people. Not laying off, firing. Usually, when you have a government shutdown, who the hell gets fired? All of these people. Now, this is a really conspiracy. It's part conspiracy, part Project 2025, and we already know that 40-some% done. They have done so far with that. And in Project 2025, there was a lot of talk of removing federal workers and replacing them with loyalists. Get rid of the ones that was there and replace them. So if you fire all these people, then you're going to have a hiring spree. And where's all these? And who just had a big? They were talking about all these thousands of people who signed up and is joining what? I'll let you think about that. Think about that. So they
what,
have the
joining
people.
ICE?
Nope.
Joining what?
Somebody just got murdered, and they said Charlie. I'll tell you how many people. Charlie Kirk.
Oh, they joining Turning Point USA?
Yeah, how many? I'll tell you how many people Turning Point has recruited.
Oh Lord. Boy, they just
recruitment, and I don't see why some people are talking about. I was like, this sounds like Project 2025. After I heard recruitment. Let me see how many people. Recruitment numbers. How many people have they recruited since his death? Because they got to have numbers. They're gonna. 2025. They claim. This is what they claim. 62,000 people.
wow.
Now, not all of them, but when you're recruiting and you're trying to bring in numbers, and he already has a vast amount of numbers of people working in the federal government. So when you got these type of recruitments and things going on with these different groups, it's in Project 2025 to replace the federal workers with their loyalists. So that's what this sounds like to me. I'm sorry. I know Project 2025 that's not a conspiracy. theory. That's real. And that's in there about replacing these people, government workers and things like that, with their loyalists. And then when I heard about the shutdown, they was talking about they was going to lay off all these bunch of people. I was like, well, hey, they just had big recruitment with one of their big recruiters. Let me see how many. I'll tell you how many people are they talking about. How many people? They didn't say layoff. They said fire. If the government shuts down, let me see what the numbers shut down. Okay, a government shutdown occurs October 1st, 2025. It's going to say how many federal workers would be permanently fired, but the number could be significant, according to the White House. Has instructed agencies to prepare plans for mass layoffs and reductions in the force. This is addition to just a traditional temporary furloughs. They're talking mass layoffs.
Well, that's
Hundreds
crazy
of
because
thousands.
I didn't even think about it
But
like that
yes,
because if a government shutdown happened, they got the people right there just to step into place, huh?
yeah. So usually when we have a government shutdown, this is home. You see what I'm saying? On furlough till the bill is paid, till the thing is done, then everybody head back to work. So they're talking about the number of permanent firings is uncertain. News reports indicate that thousands of federal jobs have been eliminated at various agencies since the beginning of it. Elon did that. So they say it could be massive layoffs. And all of these recruitments from all of these groups, they're gonna put it. They're gonna put these people if the government shuts down, they're gonna put these people into those positions.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. The putting them, but how can you call this a conspiracy at this point when that's laid out in Project 2025 to replace the abundance of federal workers with loyalists? That's in Project 2025. So that's how I'm seeing this. That's how it appears to me, because we've never heard about massive firings because of a government shutdown. Have we?
No, they're laid off.
No. Yeah, they furloughed us at home or whatever, and then they passed the budget. Then everybody head back to work. But not this time. They talking about firing all these people, and I'm not understanding. Some are talking about it, but it occurred to me when I heard about the firing that they're gonna fire all these people, and everybody's like, fire? This is when they fire massive firing because the government might shut down. That's not the talk we usually hear. And my mind went straight to Project 2025. People sit back.
You're probably right about that, because if they shut it down and they need workers, they know exactly where to go. With them loyalists that will go step right up in there and do whatever.
And that's part of it. That's part of Project 2025. And I'll pull up just to say how this is what this is appearing to me. The government does have from that shut down. Or furlough. I just want people to think about these things. Okay, normally, this is what I'm getting, ChatGPT. Normally, government shutdowns mean furloughs, not firing. Most federal employees who are deemed non-essential are sent home without pay for the duration of the funding lapse. However, recent White House messaging in September 2025 indicated preparation for mass firing. So, I mean, people got to think about this stuff. That's what it sounds like to me. Project 2025. That's what it sounds like to me. Because I was wondering, Elon did a good job in gutting it. And now this is a chance for them to really gut. Then they will announce we're going to bring, and they're not hiring back, they're not going to hire back all them people. They're going to hire, bring in their loyalists. And they have to have recruitment and people ready, set. And Project 25, that was one of the things that the people were laying out for everybody, that they were setting up people, and they already have a bunch of people already ready to go as they move them in, and they still need more people. We're in some serious trouble here.
Yeah, but I wonder what the end goal is. Like, what are they planning on doing after they take over completely? What's supposed to happen then?
Nazi Germany, Nazi era Germany, and anybody who thinks anything different, you a fool.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means. Does that mean like people are going to have curfews and you're not able to
I
say
don't know.
certain things? You're not able to say certain
I don't
things.
know about the logistics of it, but if you study history, if you study, because I've always been interested in that particular era. So if you study Nazi Germany, kind of sort of what they did, but the people basically, not basically, a lot of the major, I don't want to say the majority of the percentage of the people. Let me pull it up and read it to you. Workers. The German government workers with immigrant background, but they've all gone. Hold on, this is a whole lot of it. It was on that Nazi. Let's pull it up. Sometimes I chat GPT. I'm just a era. Okay. Nazi Germany used a combination of existing civil servants, members of the Nazi Party, and millions of forced laborers, including with the forced laborers during the war. Existing bureaucracy. The Nazi regime utilized existing civil service bureaucracy to carry out its functions. Purchase of ideological purity. Laws like laws for restoration of professional civil service in 1933 systematically removed non-Aryans and different people they didn't want. I'm just trying to get through this. And who was part of the Nazi membership. They wanted control and propaganda. As a massive Nazi organization that controlled German labor, was responsible for workforce conditions, propaganda, and providing workers with a sense of purpose and belonging to the Volksgemeinde, I can't use German words, people's community. Then they had forced labor and different things like that. It's however they want to run things. People had to do what they say, how they say, free speech. What the hell was that?
Yeah.
Really true autonomy over yourself and your family, you had to do with what they say. And they had spies all over the place to make sure everyone was in step with how they wanted things to be. So, I mean, what is their end goal? Well, they want white America. That part, I'm confused as far as Project 2025, because just white people, like if everyone, but they well, some people would have to be the worker be subservient, but just white only America, because as Stephen Miller said, he just wish America, he said, they could get rid of everybody else and just keep 90 million. So I guess that would be just white people, white, what they consider white. That's not enough people to keep this thing going. So I don't know what the true end game is. I'm not even going to try to speculate. But a good example would be, if you, people want a good example, would be Nazi era Germany. What's the end game? Everybody who is not white is basically subservient. They run it the way they want. They do it the way they want. They dictate it the way they want. You will religion the way they want. They will teach what they want, how they want, and everybody will behave how they want. Now, a big country like ours, what do we have? 350 million, how whatever the hell it is, people in the United States. If you can just become isolated, but still rule and want to rule, it's like put so much money in the military because they still want to rule and tell everybody else, the rest of the world, what to do. But that's basically what they want.
That's
Because you
crazy.
have to have some people you got to have some worker bees. This America is a lot of land. So you got to have some worker bees. So that's why I don't understand with Stephen Miller, if you could get the people down to what, like 90 million, the country will fall flat of his ass. Cause you can't just 90 million people in the United States are dead. Everybody else is shipped off, moved off, ran off. They're not going to be able to keep this going.
But see
But
that's how I know we in trouble because Stephen Miller is clearly a racist white nationalist, and he's sitting in the White House,
yeah.
and ain't hardly nobody saying shit about that racist being in the White House. Nobody ain't saying nothing about that.
The people are fussing about him and talking about people are. But no, he's not a white. He's not just a nationalist. That man is a stone cold Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
He's a nationalist. He's a stone cold Nazi. Just my opinion, Google. Just my opinion. But no, you listen to the rhetoric and the stuff that comes out of his mouth. He's far beyond a nationalist. He's far beyond that. And when I see like Black Magas and things like that, that's why I stay on them. Because the other people, I can't. I concern myself with who I am. My people who claim to be from my community. How are y'all still going on? This doesn't make sense with me. Someone that I no longer call this person a friend. This is two people that I know. They're not friends of mine anymore. I just know them. And I'm just curious. The only reason, that I haven't cut completely off, I would never have anything to do with them off of social media again.
Uh-huh.
But the only reason I remain friends with them on social media because I'm trying to see, just to get to see where the headspace is at as things continue to get worse. Just to see, are you all going to jump through every hoop to make excuses for what is going on? And one of them jumped through a hoop. I never thought the fact that one in particular has jumped through so many hoops, and this, well, I'm not going to say this, but this person, the whole Epstein thing was a hoop I thought this person would never jump through to continue to try to support this. I was very shocked. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm very shocked because of things that people had experienced. I was shocked to my core. And the only reason I just keep that person as a friend to see where their head is at. And I don't know if everyone heard about, you heard about the two MAGAs that went to the HBCU. I think it was Tennessee.
Yeah,
I
I
think it
seen
was
that.
Tennessee. Yeah, and they set up the tables. Now, average person with a brain knows they went there. They were trying to go viral, trying to get a moment for the TikTok and different things. That's what that was. That's all that was. Because if they really wanted to debate, you would contact the school, and they have protocols for that, and they set up a debate with the different groups and things like that. If there's a conservative group of black people there, or they want to do non-conservative, there's protocol that you go through, and they set
Yeah,
that thing up for you.
you just don't go set up at a college in the middle of the damn yard. When I was a recruiter,
And what if,
we had to do school setups and like
well,
that. And you have to coordinate those
yeah,
things. You have to coordinate the
yeah, you
times,
coordinate that.
and the target audience and where you're gonna be
It's just,
and when you're gonna leave. So
if
you
you're
have to coordinate all
serious,
that. Yeah.
if you're serious about it, but you just come prop up a table and say that DEI up in the middle of the HBCU should be illegal again. What all of the foolishness that they had going on. So we know what that was. That's to antagonize.
Yeah,
Our
and
community has
they was
been
really
doing.
to me
Has,
like they was hoping for some violence. That's what they wanted.
hmm
And you know,
So,
and them kids
and
didn't
it,
act bad. Them kids did what they supposed to do. They ran up off
no,
that damn school campus, so
and
they they didn't they didn't get their
they were
bare money. They didn't get what they wanted on.
just they were escorted off. But this is my point about that. With everything that's going on, we saw how the HBCUs were targeted and threatened, whether they were actual threats to be taken seriously, who knows? But you're supposed to take all types of threats like that serious and have more security and things. You're just supposed to. You don't play with that. I mean, because that man was murdered, well, a week or so ago on a college campus. And with the school shootings and things that's going on, you take those things serious. And this person who jumped through the Epstein hoop, which I never thought I would see, because we all know what Epstein's about. Jumped through the hoop when people were talking about that. Because it's saying, well, a lot of times there are no conservatives. I don't join in on the conversation because there's no need. There is no need for the people to react. They just wanted to come and have debate and come. And this person is highly educated. This person went to all types of schools, so it's very aware of how these things is protocols for things like that, and made excuses. They find a way to jump through a hoop and make an excuse. No, the people were supposed to be alarmed that they showed up like that with everything going on right now in the country. You're supposed to take whether they came there to commit crimes or had guns. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're supposed to take these things seriously for the safety of our kids, for the safety of our young people. We're supposed to.
Yeah,
As if
those are
school
people,
shootings aren't
children out there
happening
at that
every
school.
week.
Yep.
Exactly. And he made excuses like people were sucking dumb over that. They just want, and I could believe it because after the Epstein thing, I'm just curious to see the hoops that some black maggots will jump through. And I think, and this is, I could be wrong. You can tell me if you agree or disagree. I think they know better, but they're to the point they just don't care either. What do you think?
They gone. They completely gone. They whether they know better or not, it don't even matter. It's just that they are in that cult and everything else is wrong. If it has to do
Yeah,
with if it has to do with not supporting their side, they're not going to do it. And I've never
they're
seen
just not
anything
gonna
like this.
do it.
I've never seen
I ain't never
anything.
seen anything like this either, Tyrone. And people support and still trying to support. I understand, like y'all both said, flawed people, but I don't think that they will put the word of God. This person isn't even Christian. But for the evangelicals, y'all both talking about flawed. They talking about people who might cheat on their wife or somebody might who be grifting and pulling little con schemes. They talking about that. They're not talking about people who would be involved with people that sex traffic and rape and sexually abuse minors and things like that. People who murder and people who rob and steal and people who are doing things to harm the people who are already marginalized. That ain't what the book's talking about. They're just talking about people who are liars and con artists. That would be my interpretation of that doctrine. How about you?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
They ain't talking about the worst of the worst. They just talking about flim flammers and scammers and liars and somebody who will, however the Bible words it, that will have adultery with somebody's wife or something. They talking about that kind of, that's what the doctrine would mean to me if that was put out to me. Not the type of stuff that these people got going on. They know that's the
No,
worst
because
of the worst.
ain't nobody black had anything to do with Charlie Kirk's killing. Nobody black was involved. There is no reason why they should show up on a black college campus because of Charlie Kirk. That doesn't make any sense.
Antagonize it. They have nothing that needs to be threatening to the HBCUs, even if it was just false threats and just somebody was doing it for fun. No, you have no. That why are you doing that? These are people who are minding their own business. They're trying to do what y'all claim. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you're still messing with them. So that bootstrap pulling is BS. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. because the people who are trying to do that, who are doing that, who are who are excelling in the bootstrapping pulling up, and you're messing with them. And you're messing with them. You see what I'm saying? So everything, I don't want to hear bootstrap pulling. I don't want to hear because you all are fake, hateful,
Yeah, but
racist liars.
what that does tell you is that black people are the target. Even though we're not fighting them back, even though we didn't kill none of them, black people are constantly the target, and they've got to always target black people to keep their side riled up because it's always been against
We
black Americans.
it has as we are. I'm not gonna put this full bullseye on our back. We are a target, but they're targeting others as well. So I don't want the full bullseye on our back. But if somebody's going to be targeted, we're always going to be up in that. They're always going to find a way to sneak us or put us over in that. So it is what it is. So them people's liars. Don't say nothing more about no more boo put stuff up like bootstrap. Everybody should be able to do it. There should be no DEI. Everybody should be able to get there on their own merit. Well, then you got people over here trying to do what they need to do so they can merit get. And you still messing with that. The same thing is you want to be separated. This always goes back in our history. You say you want to be separated. You want them to do their own thing while we over here do. And then we build up our little stuff and you come and bomb it, burn it down and hang and kill everybody. They're liars. They're liars. All that stuff is lies. They're liars. Until more people, and that's why I don't get why the maggots, the black maggots go along with that. Because they're lying to you. They're using you. People are liars throughout our history. When they say, well, y'all go do this and you do your thing, and then when we over here trying to do it, they come burn that up, tear that up too. So they're liars. It's not that. They just don't want you to have nothing. They don't want you, they just want it all. They want it all. So that's just where I'm at with it. And maybe it took me too many years to get here, but that's just what it is. Some people are liars because they're hateful. And for black people to go along with that, I don't know if it's in their DNA. I would never say that. I don't know if it's in their DNA. But you know what? Allegedly, this is just my own opinion, Google, I think it is.
You
My
think it's
opinion.
what?
In their DNA. That's just my,
without a doubt.
no, that's just my opinion, Google, allegedly. It got to be.
It is in it.
It has to be. I don't know, because you turn somebody into a saint and want to get him a coin. That's just some of the worst things. And people can't, and people get in trouble for putting out the stuff that they said. It's just like we're living in, I can't think of the name of that show. We're all in the upside down right now. Things are so
The
crazy.
Twilight Zone?
No, when they said living, hold on. That show that was on
1984?
Netflix.
Was it 1984? George Orwell?
No, upside down. Let me see, what was the name of that show? Stranger Things. Because they had an alternate yeah, they had an alternate universe, and how the picture shows you have where everybody's living on the top, and then it looks the same on the bottom. But so all of the awfulness comes from the upside down. That's what they call it. So it's just like,
let me see who this caller is. But you know what? Before you answer caller, what they could have did with those guys that came on that campus is actually brought them up on some damn criminal charges like trespassing or whatever.
Well, right. not if the campus is open to visitors. I don't think so. I don't know how they think it's set up.
They could have found something. All right, who's this caller?
What's going on?
What's up, Jay?
Seems like a lot.
Hey, Jay.
What's happening, man? Your line is low, man. You sound low.
I said it seems like a lot's going on.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Too much is going on.
So they indicted Comey.
Yeah, I seen that, man.
Yeah,
But
I want to hear what Sarge got to say about that. He's lingering around. I'm pretty sure somewhere. It's
like I said,
crazy.
Comey, he interfered in that damn election
He
and
should
made
have
that
never did what
announcement
he
about
did.
Hillary
Yeah,
Clinton right in the middle of the damn election.
it bit him. It bit him right in his ass.
Yep. So
So,
I don't know. I
That's
mean,
that's a distract.
I hate that they
That's a
doing it.
distraction too.
It
It's a
is.
distraction too.
I hate that they doing it to Comey. I don't think he deserved it. But there was another white man thought that he would get out there and you know get in front of something.
Well,
And,
he
well, he
ain't.
was trying to play both sides too. I think,
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah,
You
kinda.
know what I'm
He ain't
saying?
no good. He ain't no good either. But it's wrong what they doing to him.
Ain't his daughter suing the government? Or,
and I
His
and I
daughter's.
think and I think he a Republican. Well, he was a Republican.
He is. He was.
his party abandoned him?
They abandoned him like they did Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, Bush. They don't want to throw Ronald Reagan, abandon him completely, but they would if they could.
Yeah, he was a Republican.
hmm They abandoned all the Bushes. They call all of them rhinos. So, I mean, it is what it
They
is.
disappeared. You see the brother where he's at? He disappeared. Jeb?
No,
Who you talking about? Ben
Bush
Carson?
brother,
No, Jeb. Jeb.
Oh, Jeb
Jeb
Bush.
Bush. Yeah, you don't hear nothing from him much. I think he's probably just over it. And Mitt Romney, they abandoned him.
Well, those type of
And let me
Republicans,
just okay.
I thought Mitt Romney was extreme, but those type of Republicans,
Nah.
they not
They
extreme
level
enough.
down.
They not extreme
They
enough.
level down.
They not.
Level down.
They not. I mean, but I feel like black people talk about, but some of us are conservative. Y'all need to get the hell off of that. The conservative party being gone. It's MAGA there now. Y'all still talking about y'all trying to be conservative. Be conservative. Plenty of black people are conservative. I have some conservative views and things like that. But I mean, conservatism, that just means to conserve if you really look at it. If y'all still trying to be conservative, so you're going to vote Republican, the conservative party is gone. It's
Yep.
gone. It's MAGA. Now, are you all nuts? That's gone.
Well, they just want to be in
I,
proximity to white people and white ideas.
I
That's
don't
why.
know.
That's why they claim conservative. Um, and you don't have to. You don't even have to claim conservative. To be honest with you, I
You
mean,
don't.
yeah,
You
that's
don't. You can have some conservative views, but I always had liberal views as it relates to different social programs and different things. I've always felt very liberal to that because
so.
I think the country should be helping people because if we're so rich as they claim, but you want to give everything to those that don't need it. I've always been very liberal as it comes to social programs and helping people and the upliftment of people. I've always been very liberal when it comes to that. Certain other things, a little conservative. I'm not as
Well,
conservative as I used to be.
I think they
But,
just. Use the brand conservative, like the black
Yeah.
people,
yeah.
so they can just
hmm
be in
Use
proximity.
get people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So they
That's
don't.
all it is.
People.
Yeah, I mean they not really the white conservative like you see here, like Sarge.
Yeah.
Sarge ain't no motherfucking conservative. I don't give a shit what he say. He's not
That's
a
MAGA.
Sean Hannity. He's not a what's that motherfucker Jesse Waters. That is not Sarge. He want to be. He want to be in proximity
That's
to them
God.
people, so he call himself a conservative.
But that's not what's happening right now. It's not about conservatism. A lot of people have
Oh,
conservative views, and they're like, I'm a mixture of both conservative views, and I have probably more liberal views than conservative views. But I'm just who I am, and But the conservatism, don't try to negate conservatism with what's going on right
No, they're
now. It's
just
not
stupid.
conservatism.
They
That's
just stupid.
MAGA.
Yeah, they just want to be
That's
next
MAGA.
to white people. That's it. Racist ass white people. It don't matter if they're racist or not to them. That's the way
Nope.
ABC is. Tucker Carlson can say some of the racist shit on his show, and ABC would play it like, "You listen to what he's saying." The motherfucker, he talking about you, you idiot.
I don't understand. But you can't get everybody, Tyrone. That's the thing. You just can't.
Well, I mean, we got some people in our community like that butler on the Django. What was his name?
Me
Steven?
too. Yeah, Steven.
Yeah, that's we just got some people like that, and they evolved that way. We got the Stevens, and unfortunately, they got a loud voice whenever they speak.
They seem to be louder
Hmm.
than than everybody else's voice. But every community had their worst of the worst. And you would say, well, I don't see how the black community, especially ever since your history, on this planet, but still,
Yeah,
it's,
because
it's
this whole country, even though they hate us, they love us. They always focus on what black people are doing, how black people
all doing.
are doing it, and then they criticize what black people are doing, and then they embrace some of the shit that black people do, and then they steal some of the shit black people do. I be listening to some of these commercials nowadays, and they ain't got nothing but black music promoting their, like old black
Yeah,
music promoting their product,
yeah.
and I'm like, this country fucked up. What's up, mama's boy?
It's a mess 'cause
Peace, fam.
of let me, speaking of commercials, and I'm done. Because there's some commercials that I saw, and it was back to life.
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah,
that back to reality. I'm like, goddamn. It's just, but then we the most hated.
yep.
You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. Go ahead.
No, peace.
Okay, and then if you look at TikTok, that's all you see is imitating black people, their dances, black people
All over
moves,
the world.
and now all these
All over
young
the
white
world.
people doing it. Yep. But go ahead, mama's
And
boy. I'm sorry.
not just them Asians, the Asians all over the world, they all doing it.
Go ahead, mama's boy.
Well, shit, I done lost my train of thought. I was agreeing with y'all on that because
Oh, I'm sorry.
we the most we the most hated, but we the most celebrated at the same time.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, you right about that. I lost my train. It was sort of about what y'all was talking about earlier. I had a thought, but I totally lost it. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm
It's all
sorry.
right. It's all
Probably
right.
when I say, well, let me say this, that I probably did that. I apologize.
It's all right. It's all right. It'll come back. If
Well,
it don't,
don't
oh
ask
well.
my brain
But
cells to remember because my brain cells don't work that well. I don't know what the hell we were talking about. Nah.
listen. Trump is kind of got it fucked up right now. I know everybody
Very.
want to be feeling kind of fucked up, but I don't know, man. I don't know. For some reason, I haven't yet given up on the human spirit. I don't know. I don't know. The human drive, the human will to survive. So I don't know. Something's gonna happen. Something's already happening. We just can't see it, I suppose, because when you got Ted Cruz going against the president, it's really weird. And when you got the president now going against Russia in public, it's weird. So something's happening. Something's going on. And I just, everybody kind of just be open. Don't quite be so, doom and gloom. We do have some shit to laugh at.
Well, that
You know,
shit Ted Cruz said don't encourage me one damn bit.
no, I ain't looked at it as encouragement. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's the right thing to say. I mean, he's not wrong. You know what
That's
I mean?
why it's so weird. That's why it's so weird. Now because listen, Tyrone, it's a white grab. It has nothing to do with nothing else but that. That's why Trump wants to bring the American dollar back down, because they want to shrink the country down to these 9 million people, I suppose.
And
You know
now
what
that you
I'm
mentioned
saying?
that, and they literally trying to kill people. When I say they're trying to kill people, y'all think I'm being over, exaggerating, but I'm not. They just gave this goddamn meeting the other day telling people not to take Tylenol and all this
Yeah,
kind of bullshit. They trying to kill
that
people.
was dumb. And did you see that I can't remember exactly who it was, but I think he was a Venezuelan president at the UN. Did you see his speech?
What did he say?
Oh, he was banging Trump about killing teenagers on boats.
Oh, that's sad. Cause they
Oh,
actually try to identify some of those people that President Trump shot.
oh yeah, Colombia is in it too. They pushing it the most. But that I saw the speech and the translator was that
Well,
dude
I need to go listen to it.
was laying into Trump. And my sister threw something at me today that I did a little bit of digging, and I sort of found something. But Charlie Kirk's wife is a very interesting person.
Yeah,
Now,
I know what you're getting ready to say. Go ahead.
from my understanding, only thing I'm gonna say, sis, because I'm not all the way sure. That's the reason why I'm getting ready to throw a question up, see if anybody know. But is it true that she introduced Charlie Kirk to Donald Trump?
Well, I know she was in a beauty pageant and one of Trump's. I seen that picture on the internet. So
Well, I know.
She was in charge of a charity called Angels Romania or something, right? That was her Christian charity. I was reading something about it, and Tyrone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and find it. I'll text the link to you. You can look it up. They even had a copy of her video on Venmo about these soldiers donating toys to the children of this charity, and somehow there's some allegations about it. I'm going to leave it there, but I'll send it to you. We get more than one head pause on it. We can dig some shit up because from my understanding, especially, it makes sense if you could Google it outside of the United States with a VPN or something from another country, you're probably gonna get more than Googling it in the United States because it's probably gonna be some sort of filter on it. I know in my state they ban porn, so if they can block that, they can block anything they want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just looking at. I see something, and I'm going through these pictures on this internet, and something about.
I'm gonna give you two names then, Tyrone. Colonel Otto Busher, and it's like a Busher. And I think the other guy's name was Lloyd Boyd or Lloyd Bond. Hold on. Let me see if I still got it up on my shit.
You said Otto Busher.
Otto OTTO Colonel, COL dot Otto Busher, and then type Angels Romania, and bam.
Romanian Angel Ministry.
Yeah. There you go.
Mm.
Let me see if I got it.
That's what they're saying. But I think people are trying to piece that together, and a bunch of people went.
Yeah.
It don't sound good. I'm not gonna say too much.
No, it don't sound good at all. But well, I'm gonna tell you what I found, Sister Alicia. All right, I typed in Otto Busher Romania, right? Just that, right? And then on my Google, instead of it being on all, I just typed news, and Q Magazine has the actual official documents from DCOT. And that's the only reason why I can stand on what I'm talking up to this point. The actual, the Maria Niciu, or whatever her name was, Maria Niciu, who brought the case, they got the whole entire paperwork in Romanian. It's a blam. It's right there, page after page after page. I'm gonna send Tyrone the link so he can check it out. Give me 1 second.
I mean, these people are just creepy. I don't know.
Hey, bro, this right here, Tyrone.
Now I found I don't know what this person getting ready to say, but I found some audio on Instagram.
Yeah, Tyrone. The YouTube must strike your channel if you get too deep into that.
Really?
I'm just telling you because
y'all bringing up something new. So let me just listen. I'm gonna see what this. Let me see.
I'm trying to help y'all.
Huh?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, play it. I know you.
I want to see what y'all talking about though. Hold on.
Hey, what's up? I did a deep dive last night into Erica Kirk or Erica France's Romanian Angels organization, which was an organization that was linked with the US military and accused of trafficking underage girls in Romania. Now, since this issue started going viral, pop-ups like this, which I have never seen before in my entire life, have started showing up on Google. So utilizing Google to try and find this information is probably not going to deem fruitful. The main sources we're going to use today, and I will post the articles right here, are G4 Media, Active News, and, excuse me, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Stripent Ruviata, which are all Romanian news organizations, as well as a video posted to the video sharing site Vimeo, V-I-M-E-O, that features Erica Kirk talking about this organization directly. Now, that Vimeo video is about 3 minutes long. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to play it, but I do encourage you to go look it up while it is still available because it's posted on her personal Vimeo page at Erica France V. It's titled Romanian Angels. So just to go over timelines here, in 2012, Erica Kirk, then Erica France V, competed in the 2012 Miss USA pageant as Miss Arizona, started working for Donald Trump, and then immediately after that went to Romania and posted this following video on her Vimeo page 12 years ago. Okay, so this video was posted 12 years ago on her personal page, and most of the video is just clips of her giving gifts to orphans. However, I want to pay attention to this thank you message at the end that thanks Colonel Busher, because his name is going to come up again. Essentially, Romanian Angels was an organization that connected Romanian orphans to members of the US military, and under the guise of giving them gifts. The person and the organization that she thanks at the end of that video, Colonel Busher and Associate United Hands Romania, have proven ties to child trafficking at multiple different points of their time in Romania. According to ctnews.ro, Associate United Hands Romania had close ties with the U.S. military at the Black Sea Rotational Force 17.1 and at the Mihal Kogalsanu military base. Now, forgive me for these pronunciations. I don't speak Romanian. In this article from January of 2020 from activenews.ro, I translated it, so let me just read it to you. It says, a former translator from the American base in Kogalsanu accuses a real brothel operated here, where minors were brought in. The woman filed a criminal complaint with DICOT, D-I-I-C-O-T, requesting that the Kogalsanu file be connected to the Carousel Develsalu file. DICOT is the branch of the Romanian government that investigates organized crime. Now, for background, the Carousel...
Okay, well, she's just going on and on and on, but it sounds interesting. And to be fair, for Google, I just Googled the other side of the argument where it came up with says fact check, no evidence of Erica Kirk's Romanian Angels Evangelical Ministries was accused of trafficking children or banned from Romania. So we heard one side, and then we hear the other side. that somebody did a fact check. So
But see, the problem with the fact check is all of the articles and things are in Romania in their news.
No, but the reason that I did that because when I read
That's
YouTube
for Google.
guidelines, you got you get
Mhm.
one side, then you get the other side, and then that's supposed to be
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but
Good.
it do sound interesting, and people probably need to dig
Mhm.
into that because the associations
Well,
are clear, you know.
there also there's an agreement that I think since 2001 that Romanian, I guess, law or Romanian police can't investigate a United States soldier. Only the U.S. can, and that is probably where it's going to end, right there, because the woman apparently had all the receipts, videos, audio, pictures, emails, all kinds of shit. Because when you look in them documents of the DCOT, I mean, they got the whole entire complaint there. You know what I'm saying? So they had people translate it. They had American soldier translate the shit. So and she's got audio of her being threatened, all kinds of shit. It's really strange. That's all I'm saying. And
It's
how
strange.
can
There's something that somebody need to if you want to do some investigation, go down that rabbit hole.
you
But
go right there?
yeah, make
You go
sure.
down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
But there's also fact checking websites that said there's no facts and that they have not been able to. None of this stuff has been proven. So
yeah.
because it's all on Google and Yahoo, they all said that none of this stuff has been proven. Interesting.
It is
Interesting.
interesting, and the association with Trump that early on, and then they tied Charlie Kirk into there. It's just some strange goings on there.
A lot of strange goings on. Yes.
But
It's even more strange. There's even more strange goings on about his death. That So it's just a lot of strange going on. I don't know. I don't know, but I think something we can say as it relates to his death, because the text messages that was put out by I think it's okay that my personal opinion, I don't trust anything that Cash Patel, any of them are doing.
No,
None of them.
No, they're liars.
None of them. They're all liars and inept. So that's just a personal opinion.
But it's an accurate opinion because Cash Patel do not know what he's doing. He's in over his head, and the only reason that he's there as the FBI director is to protect Donald Trump. That's the only reason he don't give a shit about nothing with the American citizens. Pam Bondi either. That's why they indicted Comey, because Comey ain't commit no goddamn crimes. Even though I don't like the guy, but I mean, let's be honest here. All he did was his job and investigate, election fraud or whatever, and Donald Trump's association with Russia and all of that. So Donald Trump is just getting get back right now. And Pam Bondi.
That's exactly right, Tyrone.
Yeah.
You know what they're bringing him up, trying to bring him on charges over something they've already litigated him on, and was proven to be false, lying to Congress.
And that's why I said earlier is that they trying to break him. They're gonna make him spend all that money in attorney fees and all this kind of bullshit, because Donald Trump got endless money. I mean, right? He literally got endless money right now. He taking our money, buying shit and doing shit. He got these fucking people like Sarge giving him money, so he got endless money. So that's why he bring up all these law cases and sue these TV companies, because he got endless money, and he can pay the legal fees. When Comey ain't gonna be able to pay the legal fees, that's gonna hurt him.
Well, Comey got that book, that money from the book, so he just gotta put up that money.
But that ain't gonna be enough, Jay.
Well, then he's gonna have to do something.
Well, why do you think these broadcast companies are just saying, okay, here's $16 million? because they know going through court is going to cost a whole lot more than $16 million.
They're trying to appease because a lot of them are trying to do
I think
mergers
a lot
and
of them
things
is trying
like
to
that.
get them deals. Yeah, it goes back to them deals.
Yeah,
we
they're trying to
talk
do
about.
mergers and things. That's
that's
what all
part of
that's
it
about.
too. But I
About that
mean,
on television. That's
whenever
the
he's
reason
going after
why
somebody
that
like
ABC
Comey,
did the shit.
whenever he's going after
That's
somebody like
all of it.
Comey gonna run out of money quick.
I don't know. I think Comey's gonna get help, man. He's gonna get his people to run around. There's always a group that support him, like the people that bought those books and people that's that support him. He just like there's people that don't like him. There's people that do like it. Same thing for Trump, right? How did Trump get all the money he got? Especially all the donations. A lot of people don't like him, but there's people that do like him, and they'll support him. So Comey, he's gonna have people that are about law enforcement. They're gonna be pissed. They're gonna be like, "What? They're going after our own," and people are gonna donate anonymously and also publicly. I see that happening. They're gonna get behind him. They're gonna give him a run for his money. But Comey, this is
They ain't gonna do,
I know
they ain't gonna do nothing to come. Nothing gonna happen here.
because they ain't gonna have nothing at the end. What I say is this:
No, that ain't not gonna happen.
they just want to give him a hard time, make
Yeah.
him go through shit, embarrass him,
And a
that
distraction.
type of shit. Yeah.
There you go, sis. There you go, sis. A distraction.
And then
But
guess
now-
what? At the
Ain't
end of
nothing
the
gonna
day,
happen. Nothing gonna
at
happen
the end of
here.
the day, nothing is gonna happen.
Well, if Comey was smart,
again, this is what Comey gets for trying to play both sides of the damn coin. Let's be for real. Let's not
Exactly.
forget.
That's all it is.
He
Well, if
jammed himself up.
if Comey was smart now, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm just an old country boy. If Comey was smart, all those investigations that he was involved in with Donald Trump and his association to Russia, and all of that shit that Comey know, I would have to ask for a deposition and have people up there testifying under oath about everything that Comey investigated, because that's why they say he lied. So it's up to him to prove that he wasn't lying. So I would he would have to subpoena
and put
the
it on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, he would have to subpoena the president and on down to come out here and testify that to make his point. So if I was him, I would play it like that. I would get everybody involved, including the president.
Well, I'm pretty sure that his lawyers, they on top of shit like that. But guess what? It ain't like what she said. Ain't nothing gonna happen. It's just gonna be. This is
Nah, in the end,
show.
it ain't. It's just to give him a hard time, make him spend some damn money.
Right, and give him, make him get out of bed and have to deal with the bullshit that they came with. But again, Comey try to play both sides. The shit bit him.
Yeah, it did. I mean, because whenever he gave that briefing during that election, I didn't like Clinton not one damn bit. But that was off. That was really off. Right in the middle of, I think, of the Benghazi or the files or document, he came out and gave that brief right in the middle of that campaign, and that threw everybody off about Hillary Clinton. And I was like, Jesus Christ, well, there's another white man supporting a white man. That's what I was thinking at the time. And then whenever time went on and he had to do the Russia investigation, that's when Trump turned against his ass. And I was like, okay. Well.
I wouldn't put it past the Comey going along with all of this so they can distract. I really don't. Nothing's going to happen to him. This is just a distraction. Eventually, it'll be dropped and it'll be on the 4th page of the newspaper or someplace where nothing's happening to him. And if this is true, that they're really trying to go after him, then let him sort it out. He'll be all right.
Well, and Donald Trump going after him is illegal because he accidentally texted out that shit to Pam Bondi, telling her specifically who to fucking target. And I mean, that shit's illegal.
Yeah, but does it matter that it's illegal? We got to get a handle on things. And I'm to the point now, if the government doesn't shut down, they swear this woman in so she gets sworn in. And they able to get the files that's not heavily redacted, and they done took out so much of stuff. I am to the point that I don't think it's going to even. at first I was like, it will matter. I think it will matter. But I don't know,
Well,
because I told you that, Tyrone, a
the
couple of weeks
longer
back.
the longer
Go
they
ahead.
keep the Epstein files hidden, right? That is more time for Trump to get people on his side with the Epstein files, and that's what's going on. The longer it takes, the more people are saying, "Y'all just picking on him, y'all just picking on him," or whatever they saying, you know. And Trump know how to do that good. He's been doing that his whole damn career. Is that
I don't care.
he knew how to control a news cycle.
He does, and I don't care if the stuff came out with videos with him in the act, and they verified and this, and he'll just say it's a lie. So I choose to say, and then it's liable to be business as usual. It really is. I'm starting to lean that way. I'm not all the way on that side. That it's probably not going to matter because we know some people. We know some people who it's not going to matter to.
Well, there's no change in them MAGA's minds. That's just not going to happen at all.
The hardcore, they don't care. They really don't care. The hardcore, some it will, but the hardcores, and I don't expect it to change them, but the hardcores can't. The hardcore MAGAs, when it comes to, we have elections and different things like that, that's not enough people to win nothing. So, but the hardcores, it's not going to matter. So, but it don't matter to them at all.
But see what their tactic is. Okay, so say for an election, what their tactic is to go ahead and start demonizing whoever they think gonna win. That's what they did to Kamala Harris. Is that they went on out there and they just kept hitting her way before it was time for her to even run, and then that's what they're gonna do again. Is they're gonna start demonizing?
Yeah, they can do that. They can do that, but if you on tape with somebody who's 13, you demonize that person all you want. That's not going to work. I don't care what you say about there. They kill a mama. That's not going to be enough, Tyrone. I'm just saying it's not enough people for them to vote. The hardcores won't care, but that's not the hardcores. That's not all the conservatives. That's not even half. But so my thing is that's not going to be enough. What they will have to do is to cancel and get rid of elections. That's the only way. That's the only way. Because that's not going to be enough to demonize. So they will have to find a way. I think they're going to find a way to.
I believe they cheated.
That's not enough.
I believe they cheated. I believe they cheated. I believe they cheated this last election.
Yeah, but I don't think they will be able to get. I don't think they'll be able to get away with that again. But they're gonna have to get rid of elections altogether. That's the only way, and get us like kind of where like how Russia and North Korea and places like that.
Well, that's it's in the works because Donald Trump is talking about getting rid of mail-in ballots and all this kind of bullshit. They trying to. That's
not enough. Huh? That's not enough. That's not enough.
Well, it's gonna help.
Not enough. That's not enough. Tyrone. Hardcore MAGAs will vote regardless. If he came and shot their mom in the head.
No, I'm saying you right about that, but I'm saying like with other systems in place that they use for cheating, all of that stuff adds.
They will have to do some really serious cheating. A sure way is just no more.
They have a problem with that.
They're gonna have a problem. A sure way of not being able to get put out of power. It's no elections. That's a sure thing. No elections.
Next thing you know, we're gonna have Stephen Miller as president.
Because if we have elections, as things get worse, horrible. And who knows what comes from the Epstein and some of the other things. That's not going to be enough people, no matter they get rid of mail-ins, they redistrict, because the Supreme Court is getting ready to get rid of voter rights laws. So they can do all of that, but there's not going to be enough white people to vote for them. It's just not. All white people are hardcore MAGAs, Tyrone. They're just not. A nice little portion of them are, but not a lot of them are not. They don't have to like you That's my thing is, I don't care if they like you. They don't have to like you. They don't have to support you. They don't have to feel sorry for other people. They don't have to want equal rights for other people. They don't have to want any of that stuff.
Well, see, what
But
I'm saying
when
though is
some of the,
white people don't have to be MAGA, right? But if since they demonized the Democrats so much, they're never going to support the other side. Never.
that's not so, because we've had some elections, some special elections since all of this has been going on, and the people in red districts voted for the Democrats. So that's just not true. The thing is, we have that when their livelihood and a lot of them who are completely nuts, they're gonna vote for whoever is gonna straighten this thing out, and that's just a fact, Tyrone. The only way to ensure it is no elections. The only way to ensure it is no elections. And y'all know in order to have no elections, what you got to do. We all know what has to be done, and I think they're moving towards that. Y'all didn't hear the special announcement that just came over. What Pete Hegseth is doing?
What special?
I'll read it to you. I just saw it. They're moving towards to get us to the situation where there is no election, there is no midterm. That's where they're moving us towards, because that's not going to be enough to keep them going. Some people will vote for anybody to fix it, to get them out. Hardcores won't.
They're trying to do away with the midterm.
There's a portion that they feel threatened. They feel threatened.
Yes, they tried to do away with the midterm because redistricting isn't going to be enough. Getting rid of mail-in ballots, that's not enough. That's not enough. When you got everybody starving and dragging. That's what the police has news. I just saw this come over. That's where they're headed us. That's where we're headed to. Here we go. I hope this isn't a video that I can read it. Yeah, okay. It's from my local news because I don't want a video. It came over the wire. Hegseth abruptly summons top military commanders to a meeting in Virginia next week. All of them from all over.
Yep, that's what Alvarez talking about right now.
They setting up stuff, and they trying to, so we won't have no damn midterms. Redistricting, getting rid of mail-in ballots is not enough. It's not enough.
I don't know how that's gonna go over. I don't know. What do you think people gonna do about that?
What you think? What people gonna do about it? What else you gonna do? What you gonna do?
You think people gonna be upset about that?
If Alexis, Texas, they tested it. Texas canceled their. They've already tested it. They're testing that kind of stuff to see what the people gonna do. I ain't hear no big outrage over this. Wait a minute. Let me tell you. They tested it. That's what you have to cancel. Like I tell you, cancel. They postponed it. That's why they tested it in certain areas to see what the response is going to be. Cancellation, Secretary of State. Cancellation of elections for local political No. Let me find it. Why? Starting in Texas. Here we go. Well, let me get somebody else. Wait a minute. Okay, here. Okay, here we go. ABC. Oh, man. Texas governor under fire as to push his special election. They were supposed to have their special election. They canceled it and pushed it to November. Texas Governor Abbott announced in a proclamation. Let me see what the date of this. This was back in April. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced in a proclamation Monday afternoon that the special elections to fill the seat vacated after the death of Representative Sylvester Turner. Democrats for the rest of the term will be held in November. They canceled their shit, pushed it off. That's kind of stuff they're planning to do, and it's
Well,
being
that's a
tested in certain areas to see how they go over with it.
well, yeah, but that's a special
They,
election. But I can see how you saying they
it,
testing it to see how people respond. Because normally, whenever you're supposed to have a special election, people go out to those things. So I don't know.
but the people didn't. But the people didn't rise up. With all that redistricting that they're doing in Texas, there was no rising up. So, and that's not the only one that has happened. They testing it in certain areas.
No. They did protest in Texas about this redistricting.
No, they did, but they didn't. But the people did. The people did just what they thought. They protested and they went home and cut on football games.
Oh. I know. I saw a lot of people getting up there. On the floor giving
It was
speeches. It was a lot of
Yeah,
people.
but it wasn't. It was that's what they knew. Some people you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have that.
Let me see who this caller is right here. Who's this unknown call? Oh, that's Sister Nobody. What's up, Sister Nobody?
Hey,
What's happening? What's
hey,
happening?
good evening, good evening. You know, I was listening to Lisa and I was thinking, I said, you know what? Whoever runs has to create a brand that is bigger than Make America Great. And they got to create a political platform that is bigger than mega. That is the only way they are going to win and make changes. Well, make the right changes. Because it has to be a brand. It has to be a brand and there has to be a political talking point in order for it to change. I was just thinking that.
Yep.
How you doing?
I don't know. The Democrats need to get off their ass then.
Yeah, because that brand right there, Make America Great, that is something else. That mega talking point, political talking points, they got to be bigger than those two things.
But they're working on it. They're working on it. Some people are just so sure we're gonna have midterms. They're working on it.
Because think about it. When Obama ran, he ran with that. What's that? Change gonna come. I don't know. Just interesting. Got to be bigger than those two things.
Well, I don't know how they're gonna they come up with a movement now. They should have been started on a movement because I don't know. MAGA is MAGA and Jesus Christ. They growing fast as I don't know what. I don't think the Democrats. I don't know. I don't see them coming up with nothing.
Maybe they got something that we don't even know. Cause some of it too is we don't gotta announce everything, but you have to be active. So it's like two things gotta be happening at the same time. You can't be quiet to where nobody knows what they need to be doing, or trying to build a movement. But
Yeah,
who
you
knows?
can't just be out here talking about it. You can't
Right.
really just be
So
out here talking about it.
and so I think that also they just there's probably a lot of work happening behind the scenes that's not being seen. And once they unleash, you know, maybe we'll see the impact right away since everything is much more faster and quicker. You know, it's like before people used to have to advertise a year in advance. And some people they'll do it like the week before. And just like hit real, impactful.
But I think that if they don't, then that's a loss, and that's shame on them, on the party and the people that have those responsibilities of getting the word out there, getting the candidates where they need to be, doing the advertisement, raising the money, on all the fronts that need to happen to, again, this is a convincing game.
Well, don't you think waiting until the last minute is a little too late? Because what you going up against is this big ass movement that they have.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, nothing's good to do last minute, but I think that also the party, the other side is displaying. So I think that to a certain extent, and I would believe that there's a portion of the party that is hoping that the people see what's going on the level, and those people that voted for him, and see all the destruction that he's causing that's irritating people and causing them to turn the other direction. They're like, oh, we told you so, and they're seeing it by their own experiences. So, I mean, I think that portion, but I wouldn't depend on that. I would just be out there trying to, again, let the people know that, we're the better people to do the job, and to make change this from what it is, and show them how bad things really are. How they're affected by it.
I think that they need to be getting hot and heavy now. I think they're a day late and a dollar short. And the political message, and I don't know, just out of thin air, restoration.
Should be flooding everything.
Yeah,
they
restoration.
Should be flooding the whole shit right now. All the social media, TikTok, the advertisement, also personalities, being on television, everywhere where there's people listening, and where there's masses of people, that's where they need to be.
Yeah, and the political message can be something. Huh?
The opposition is there, is already there, but it's not underneath. It's not underneath a brand.
That's what I was trying to say. Is that they got to have some type of message. They got to have something everybody can cling on to. Something like restoring America, or the restoration of America, or fixing this fuck up, or some shit. I don't know what the message is.
Fixing this fuck up.
I would say one thing that this is terrible to say, but like the farmers, these farmers and stuff, they're waiting on a bailout. I hope they don't get it. That's just my opinion. I hope they don't get it, and I hope they lose their farmland, because that's part of Project 2025. We need these things to happen. Some people who were dogged in voting for this stuff, they gotta lose it all.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to.
Right, to learn a lesson.
They're gonna have to lose it all.
Well, see, the farmers is the dumbest group out of the bunch, because when Donald Trump was in office the first time, Donald Trump put those tariffs on, and it caused those farmers to lose land, which I was on here several times complaining about. The farmers getting reparations, and that's how that started. Is when Donald Trump first put them damn tariffs on, they had to give the farmers reparations, and now the farmers turned around and voted for his ass again. So I don't know how many times you can keep running to that goddamn wall. So yeah, the farmers should lose every goddamn piece of equipment they got. They dumb.
And the thing is, a lot of people I've seen from social media, people are taking up petitions and sending it to the government to do not bail out the farmers. And I signed a few of them because I'm for that. Because the taxpayers' money and the farmers are a bad investment because they keep doing the same thing over and over. And then after they got their first bailout, Biden put all types of things in for them to do the soybean, for the other countries to do this, do that. He did a lot of things to help them. And then they got their nerve. They filed a lawsuit for Trump to put back those, put back some of the things that Biden had in place, those initiatives that helped them to sell into the other countries. They suing. They want those things back.
That's why they
And the thing is, who gave them to you?
Yeah,
Kamala would have kept it going. Kamala would have kept it going. So, I mean, the farmers are, because y'all want to use American taxpayers' dollars to bail them out. They are a bad risk. They are. They are a bad risk. And we keep bailing them out, so you can't keep bailing out a bad risk. Maybe that farmland needs to be what they call industrialized, whatever it is, farming, and these groups and stuff buy up all that farmland, and they do it on an industrial scale, and they take care of all of that. Because the farmers are a bad risk at this point. Because if they think that he's not going to put those things that Biden had in, that they was making money and being able to do their thing. Black farmers got a very small share of that stuff. So, but they are bad risk. The farmers are bad risk. No more bailouts.
Let them all. Money for vegetables and fruits, even though it's domestic. So here we are, right?
Yeah. So
let for shit that's natural.
So let them go. Let them fall under. Let these different groups and stuff, because J.D. Vance has stocks and money in these groups that want to buy up them things. So let them buy up all the farmland, buy them out, buy up all that, but they're going to lose them, so they'll be able to get them cheap on the auction, and then they will set that up and have all of that taken over, and those groups and stuff, let them take it all over, because the farmers are bad investment. So, I mean, it's going to have to come to that.
Yeah, they're dumb.
And that's sad.
They're dumb because those farmers, what they're really doing, and they've been out there for a while, so they throwing away generations after generation. They throwing away their land, their property, their equipment, are all voting for this fucking idiot. Don't give a shit about them. And then when Biden did something for them, they know that Biden did it for them, but then they're going to turn their back and vote for this motherfucker that they ain't going to do shit that fucked them over the first time. So they dumb.
Because Kamala, she sure would have kept all the things that was given to them, but y'all didn't want that stuff. And then now you want to come back to the American people begging for more taxpayers bailouts. Don't give it to them. Don't give them nothing.
Well, the government always looked out for the farmers, except for Donald Trump. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. The government always looked out for the farmers, and then Trump administration, he said fuck the farmers with them tariffs, and then they turn around and Biden tried to help them out, and then they turn around and vote for him again. So yeah, the farmers are stupid. I don't know what else to say about that.
Nah. They stupid. It's bad. They're bad risk. They're bad risk.
And again, you bail them out. What do you get in return? The damn prices of the vegetables and the goods that they're producing is very expensive. We're paying prices like it's being imported from another country. Look at what orange juice, how much orange juice is.
Yep.
And that's from Florida.
And so Trump about to bail out Argentina, and you know what he said?
Right,
he told the farmers that, well, I'll bail y'all out with the tariff money. So what does that? the tariff money, the tariff revenue. So what does that tell you? They ain't giving them a dime.
Yeah, they
there is no tariff revenue. Them people are bad risk. So I think like this is gonna have to happen.
Some pain. Just like it's some of the people that voted for him that's not farmers that, are starting to feel, what about those government workers that lost their job? They voted for him. I'm safe. Boom, you end up being affected by the shit that he did. There's a lot of unemployed people right now because of him that voted for him.
Oh yeah, so, I mean the economy going to shit up under Donald Trump. I mean the job numbers are fucking down. The businesses ain't being created up under him.
And China is winning.
Yep.
China's winning, at least selling the product. They're selling their product. I mean, who's winning in China?
China done took over. China done took over.
They done took over.
They just said they're making a new battery. They got a new battery that's going to be like that battery that they're going to use for the electric car.
They already done took over. They already done took over the automotive industry, they have created the fastest production car now. I just saw it on my news feed a couple of days ago.
Yes,
They passed
yes, they
America
have.
finally.
Well, yeah, China.
I mean,
I'm gonna move to China because they're doing a whole lot better than this damn country.
they got it going out. Oh, and when Biden had all that stuff set up, they were selling, the farmers were selling all that soybean in China. Because I don't know why they don't have their own, and selling all that soybean to China, so they was making money and recouping and doing the thing. And when Trump cut all that out and put tariffs on all that stuff, China was like, okay, well, if y'all can back with the tariffs and stuff. China said, screw it. We ain't buying no more y'all soybeans.
Yeah,
We'll buy from Brazil.
Yeah, they buy from other places.
Brazil. We're down from Brazil, some of the African countries, kudos to them, got in and said, well, buy some out. They was like, yeah, we buy some from y'all. And they haven't bought not one soybean. To hell with you. And y'all got Trump to thank for that.
A lot of nuts come from Africa, too. A lot of nuts, like, cashews and certain shit that,
So I was happy to see that some of the African countries said, y'all, they were smart enough and there at the right time to say, yeah, go get some of ours. They was like, yeah, we buy some of y'all's and Brazil and stuff. So I'm happy about that.
Well, that soybean kind of kicked them in the wahoo, because it looked like America. Yeah. It looked like America was the second largest producer of soybeans, and then Brazil is Brazil is the largest producer of soybeans, right? So if you take America out of the damn runnings, then now you got Brazil, Argentina, and China and India. They kind of screwed. They screwed America over.
And some of the African countries, some of the African countries too. So that's gonna help them. So I was glad. I said, well, thank goodness they getting in on America's downfall. Y'all get in on this, get some of that money. That's what it's about. Get some of that money.
That American heartland, that farming, what is soybean, beef? Nobody, they ain't buying nothing, none of it.
I still see a lot of cotton fields down here. Do we still do cotton?
Well, that's cotton. So, but what's the other one that they? Corn, but they ain't buying that either. But they cut it all that stuff. Biden had it also, and they had them planting other types of food.
I seen some dudes crying about alfalfa.
and sorghum. They stuck with all that stuff, sorghum. How do you pronounce that? Let me get the correct pronouncer to that.
Man, that's crazy. They're just letting this country go, and everybody's taking over.
No. But Tyrone, he's already talking about socialism for them. He's already talking about it now. It's crazy.
I don't see how these white motherfuckers and Sarge White, I don't see how they still support this motherfucker. He do not know what the hell he's doing.
Sorghum, that's how you pronounce it, sorghum. And all them different grains and stuff. And then Biden had it all set up. Y'all plant this food for the soft power. They were sending that stuff, overseas for soft power. And remember, they got rid of all that. So they got all that stuff. And then some of the money was supposed to go, but they for the Clean Air Act, different things like that. For the things for the schools, for the food and stuff, for the schools and things like that. They got rid of all that. So y'all just stuck with all that stuff. All that soybean, all that sorghum, and all that stuff for the soft power. They were sending all that stuff overseas and stuff. So they had the contract. They want him to bring them contracts back. They suing him. Good luck.
Yeah, America's screwed. Well, at least for the next 2 years. I hope these elections go the right way. I just really do.
I do too. The way they should. Common sense. Unless they do what they did with Kamala. That's the only way.
I can't take it no more. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm tired.
Me and my family, we going down our land and we gonna start a cooperative and we gonna farm. That's what we gonna do. if it get real bad, that's what we gonna do. But I don't know. But the farmers are a bad risk. They're a bad risk. Do not bail them out. He's talking about he will bail them out. That was funny to me. I hollered when I saw that with the money from tariffs. He gonna bail them out with the tariff money. And they should know there is no tariff. So there is no, and all this money he's talking about, all these countries is trillions of dollars. They gonna bail them out with that. But that should tell you they're not getting bailed out.
No, they ain't getting bailed out.
They ain't getting bailed out, and they shouldn't. Because if they got bailed out and the election was next year, they would turn right around and do the same thing.
Yep. Vote for
They
Trump.
turn right around and do the same thing. And when people was trying to tell the farmers get into Project 2025, they want your farmland to go over so these corporations and these different things can buy this stuff and they can make the money and do the industrial type farming. That's what they want to do. And they tried to tell them that was the thing. And J.D. Vance owned money in that, got stock in that. And they still voted because they want to be racist against somebody. They want to be hateful against somebody. So you get what you vote, that's what y'all voted for. People tried to tell you. I agree with everybody. Do not bail them out. Because if they bail them out, they'll turn right around, same thing again.
Do it again. Vote for the white man.
Turn right around.
He white. He white. We're going to vote for him because he white. Dummies.
Vote so they can be hateful. If a black man told them they could be hateful, they liable to vote for him. Who knows? But just so that they can be hateful.
I mean, it's the same group of people that are not trying to support the black farmers. You know, the black farmers got screwed over by those white farmers.
Yeah, so if the black farmers is going to go on there, all of them should too. And I forget that company. They have a big company. I forget what it was. It's a documentary about them on YouTube. You all probably have seen it. I forget what it is that they make. And the things that they make, they have to get it from whatever country what it is to be able to make this thing, because our country doesn't produce that. And they have several big locations in the United States, and they're doing all these massive layoffs because of the tariffs. And the owners of the company, they said during the election, as owners and supervisors and managers, they cannot tell the people who to vote for. But what they did, they had a rally. This was back before Joe Biden got out of the election. They had him and they had different people coming. They made sure to have Biden come and speak at their locations and some of his administration to talk about the things that they were doing and trying to do in their contracts and things like that. Then they said that people just showed out with MAGA hats and all kind of stuff on. He said they couldn't even get a photo opportunity, and this is what happened, and this is that. And they said that the majority of the people for those companies voted for MAGA. And at the end of the little piece that they did, the owners of the company, they wanted to put this in there. Like they said, note at the end of it from the owners and the CEOs and stuff of the country that they did not vote for that man. They do not have the right to tell their employees who to vote for, but they try to give them a different point of view so they could take things under consideration, and they wouldn't. And you know what? I appreciated them putting that. They wanted that put in there, that I know that they tried. They tried. So you can't really feel sorry for people like that.
Yeah.
I feel pity. I don't feel empathy, none, and I don't have sympathy, but I feel pity because people tried to help you guys and tried to tell you guys, and here we are. And a lot of them just had a hard time saying it's because of the administration. They was just like, well, this happened, that happened. Why did it happen? That's the problem. Because if somehow or another they were to save their jobs, they would turn right around if the next election was next year and do it again.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Do
Well,
it
and
again.
it's
Yeah.
surprising to me how effective he are with the young people now. I don't understand that. You know. Well, I
I
mean,
do.
I get it now. I get it now, but I didn't. I thought that the young people wasn't into what Donald Trump was selling, but I guess they are.
It's who raised them. That's why they were eat. That's why they were susceptible to it. Their parents. Because my parents wouldn't be susceptible to nothing like that. My parents was not into that type of stuff. So I would not be susceptible to it.
So I have a question, at least for the panel. So do you think there's ticking time bombs around in these rural communities, just like the guy who shot Charlie Kirk?
You
Yes, I
said
do.
more out there, yeah, without a doubt.
Yes, I do. Yes.
I mean, it's a steady pattern right now of people who doing these mass shootings. Literally, I think we had like 3 this month, right? 3 or 4.
But what you mean by taking time bombs against them? Is that what you're asking?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, I do.
against them, and just popping off on because
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, I
Well,
do.
what you mean by ticking time bombs? From the left or within?
No, I'm talking about from the right.
Right. From the right.
This Tyler Thompson kid apparently was raised in a fundamentalist type family, Republican based, gun based, grandpa gun based, from what we hear, right? So that's nuclear family, brothers and sisters, responsibility, duty, honor, country, God, right? And
Father in the home.
motherfucker find out something wrong and pop, and don't know how to
Yes,
cope
I
with
do.
it, or see some hypocrisy, and pop and snap. That, I mean, that's what it
That's the
sounded like to
last.
me. Like this Tyler dude did sound like he snapped and took it out on Charlie Kirk.
And then the guy, the one, whatever that assassination attempt thing or whatever on Trump, they killed that boy. But he was from the same type of family. Whatever that was about. I'm not too. I
There was
don't know.
some similarity there because his parents was Republican and Trump's,
they was.
they was in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So whatever his involvement in it was, he was one of them that snapped. So yes, I do believe there's a lot of them walking around. As long as they stay away from black folks, and black folks ain't doing nothing to you all.
Well, I don't plan on standing next to no white person when somebody else gets shot because I'm probably not going to be around you.
So
that's just what that is. I'm probably not going to be around you. Probably not.
And there's a lot of people who, and Sarge, I like Sarge. So I'm not talking about Sarge. I'm talking about people that are like him that are ticking time bombs because they saw some truth. You see what y'all understand what I'm saying?
Now I remember why I called in.
What?
Just I don't know. For some reason, you talking about that, bro. I got some recall. What we talking about, and Tyrone, I know you and Howard, y'all get into it, but I can still see the affection between two of y'all. Y'all be on that bullshit, but Howard is the one who kind of brought it to the forefront. We talking about transracial motherfuckers. Now, I may have put a lot on it in my color and called it trans peckerwood, but transracial, yeah, I think we hitting on something there. Because that's the only way you're gonna really infiltrate the black community is with somebody black that wants to be white. It's the only way you're gonna be able to do that. So
I think it's something to it. I think it's something to that.
Transracial motherfucking Negroes. helping everything out, aiding and abetting, turning a blind eye, which is just as corrupt as aiding and abetting, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. What's this cartoon dude on the Boondocks? What's his name?
Uh,
He was transracial. Oh, what's his name?
You talking about the dude with the one eye?
oh,
Yeah,
you talking about
Uncle
stink
Ruckus,
meaner, not stink meaner.
Uncle
You talking
Ruckus.
about
Uncle
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 Ruckus.
Ruckus.
Ruckus. Yeah, Ruckus. He
Uncle
was
Ruckus.
transracial.
Yeah, Uncle
He
Ruckus
said
ass
he
nigga.
had. Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
he said he had reverse vitiligo. Was that what it was? I think I haven't watched that in a while.
You know, I didn't like that cartoon because it was saying nigga and all that, but it was funny as shit. Now I ain't gonna sit here and lie. That was,
Yeah, I didn't like it when it was first on. I didn't like it either. But
I
then
mean,
I
they made some
sat
good
and
points.
watched it, and then I was like, I ended up buying the whole DVD collection because it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's funny, and a lot of it speaks a lot of truth. I don't agree with everything they had in that, and some of their depictions of women, I didn't go along with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But overall, it was funny. It really was, and I liked Uncle Ruckus. I liked him a lot because there's people like that. But with the reverse vitiligo, and when they introduced his family, his mother always told him that they was white, and that's where he got the reverse. Just the craziness. But yeah, I think it's something to that transracial thing. Some of these people, I think they know they're not white, but they grow up because of the treatment, different things that has happened to our race. I get it.
And I'm
You was
sorry to drag the conversation backwards. I'm sorry, but that's
no, you are.
something about you talking about that brought it back to my head.
So I think it is a lot to that. I think they grow up like that, always want, because I've known people like that. They grew up like that, always, everything was white. You want to know, you all remember, I'm going to tell it, I don't care. Because I thought that she was about for the upliftment of, not upliftment, but some of the things that she was doing. Y'all remember Pig Pill? I can't think of her name. Let me type this in. Because I saw a video of her a couple of weeks ago. It can't.
I recall an old saying that I actually heard a Hispanic dude say that, you might as well play for the winning side. And then he smiled at me. He smiled at me as if it was acceptable, and not knowing I'm looking at you, little bitch ass motherfucker. You'll just bitch out for anything, won't you? You just lay down for anything. Just because they win and you'll lay down.
Oh yeah, Crystalline Carrison. That's her name. Y'all remember her?
Crystalline Carrison. Yeah, Christian Carrison.
You remember?
Yeah,
the name rings a big bell. Yes, she rings a big bell.
When the gender wars was going on real hard, Crystalline Carrison.
Yeah.
And her husband was white. I saw a video of that she put up on her, because I hadn't watched her Pay Her Attention in a long time, and I thought what she was doing was trying to fight back in the gender wars and things like that, and telling black women that they had, because you're being just tore down so bad. And I had a place in my heart for her. But then I started following her. I didn't know what all was really happening with her. And one of her videos came up in my feed, I think it was the last week before last. And she is a Republican and trying to still hold on to being Republican.
Well, there's a lot of people doing that.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What do you mean you trying to hold? What do you mean you still trying to hold on to being conservative, to being Republican? There's nothing to hold. The Republican Party is gone. And I don't usually comment on people her things like that, but I made a comment. Just to be independent. Why are you still trying to fight? She has somebody called Black Christian or Black Jesus or somebody. He has a YouTube. He's pretty big on there. He's full in with MAGA. And I'm like, I know you're not trying to convince these women. You all can date the rainbow. I'm for people dating whoever you want to date. But are you trying to feed these women to stay Republican? The Republican Party is gone. Are you people nuts? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I think one of her daughters is part of the LGBTQ plus IA community. And you know how they treat them. And you still trying to hold on to whatever Republicans. Are you nuts? Those Republicans is gone. If you don't want to be Democrat, be independent. What the hell is wrong with you guys? Why is this a choice? Why are you trying to act like you're conflicted? Why are you conflicted? What the hell is wrong with you? So, yeah, I just don't. But some of them who was all into that, the pink pill and this and that, some of them are still trying to hold on to. That's gone now. Wait till they come back. Wait till they come back. That's not what's happening. It's no way that you're supposed to remove yourself from that umbrella. You don't be a part of that, because all the Republicans that I work with, all of them got plenty of money, the CEOs, all of them. But they're not up under that. They said they are conservative. That's it. They are not up under that umbrella. They're not up under that umbrella. They had to ditch that. You don't have to be conflicted. Why are you conflicted? Just say you're old school conservative. Then say that. If you must, you don't have to say you're anything really. But if you just want to say this is where I lean, just say I'm a Bush conservative or I'm a Mitt Romney or something. Yeah, just say that. But don't try to still remain under that umbrella, because the Republicans, that is not what's happening right now. This is MAGA. And you all can't be this delusional.
Well, it's that proximity to the whiteness that what we were talking about earlier. They just want to be in
I
the
think that's
vicinity.
a lot of that's going on with them. And I didn't think that's what it used to be. I thought you were proud to be black. I thought you liked being black. You had issues with the black community and some of our foolery, and we all do. But come on now, you cannot change your race. You are what you are. You can try to, I don't know, it's just craziness time around. Y'all still trying to hold on to this? You're supposed to repudiate that stuff and become independent. That is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go with the best strategy that's going to work out for you and your family. MAGA ain't it. I don't get it. Jesus Christ. And I don't like to call out black. I like to call, but I'll call you out if they need calling out.
Transracial.
And I think there's something to that. Howard brought it up, and we all talked about it. I think there's something to that.
I appreciate him putting an identifier on it. You know, because you got reckless Negroes like myself just gonna call them Peckerwoods.
But I think he put a more not clinical is the correct word, but he put a great term. He did. I think so. There's something to that. These people they don't identify, but they're not identifying with their, they're not identifying with their racial makeup. So I think that there's something with it. They don't identify with it. I can get big and fat, but I don't identify as a fat person, not in my head. But I'm big and fat. You see what I'm saying?
Somebody shuffling around. Somebody walking with a mic on their shirt or something. Now go ahead, sis. Keep going. Sorry.
No, it's the same thing. You fat, but you don't, in your mind, you don't see, like if you were always a slim person, if I became, got real fat, and then I thought in my mind, I may not identify with that because that wasn't always me. Something happened, got sick, got this, whatever the hell. And you became, I don't like, you shouldn't use the word fat. I shouldn't have said that. Just extremely overweight, obese is the clinical term. My obesity got out of control or something. Obesity got out of control. And I still identify with what I've always been. I understand that, but you can't identify with what you still have to live in the now of what's going on, so you can. So maybe it's a mental thing. Has to be. But I'm not a therapist, so you know. But I think it's something to that. I think Howard did a good thing by putting a name to it, a good name to it,
Yeah, them people crazy.
Instead of just calling them coons and like Mama's boy said peckables. Instead of that kind, I ain't gonna tell you what my father's name was. Instead of calling them those names, transracial. Rachel Dolezal in her head, she says she's black. She's a black woman, so I mean whatever.
All right, y'all. I can't take it no more. I'm gonna have to get off here. YouTube, if
Yeah,
y'all
me too.
YouTube, if y'all want to call in, y'all can call in. Appreciate it, Miss Elisa, Mama's boy, Sister Nobody, and Jay. I'm gonna open the lines.
Q&A session is over. All participants are unmuted.
Next week.
All right. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Okay.